Firstly, Tropical Cyclone Narelle. Narelle is a severe tropical cyclone and is impacting communities along the Gascoyne coastline, packing wind gusts of up to 260 kilometres per hour. A short time ago, it made landfall near Exmouth.
Music's the only thing that's keeping me from the other side of that fence.
So what, you trying to be a rapper now?
So what I was thinking was take a little bit of his lifestyle and get a rap game something authentic.
We was booking one-ways, Houston and LAX, no luggage.
We never disclosed that information anywhere. The only way he would have known about that was if he was there.
May you take this time and reflect on the decisions that you make.
I got a little issue. I need you to get this done.
Now, the only thing you gotta do now is work on your rap name. What if we called you C.O. Po-Po?
That is Kevin Gates.
Look, stop playing with me, nigga.
My bad. Wait. Can you say in that for me real quick? Kevin Gates. What the Kevin Gates? Come on, man. Oh, that hurt. What the heck, Kevin? I didn't appreciate that, Kevin. That hurt a lot. Kevin Gates just assaulted me. Damn. Ouch. That is Kevin Gates, bro.
Somebody, if you got someone, don't you love when I come around? What'd he say? Build you up, then I'll take you down.
Yes, sir. I think he's changing clothes. Probably putting on another. Oh, now it's the jacket with the suede lapel. You switch from the shiny. Oh, you got a suede lapel. But you still got on that turtleneck. You recycle that turtleneck. You should take off that turtleneck. Anytime you feel like a takeoff, that turtleneck, you gon' suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Oh, don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Oh, don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Hallelujah, fan them down. Turtleneck. Oh, break it down, whisper it. Turtleneck. Oh, whisper it. Turtleneck. Turtleneck. That boy good. That boy.
Never heartbreaker, taste love, a heart saver, a heart prayer that awaken his God layer. True art maker, hand solo, no partaker. Walker upon skies, my style, I Darth Vader. My cognac, I sit back and sit that. Family doing good in the present, my gift rap, I'm fine. Staying high for the lows I was used to. Like robbing off a plane, niggas still trying to boost you. High appraisal value when the Jews up and taught. Guaranteed you get the itis on my food for thought. Just digesting the fact, now I got fruits of labor. This melanin pomegranate, I'm your newest flavor. Tell my newest hater, stay with the lesser than, I'm due for greater. Breaking down trees is what I used to do for paper. I look around how it's going right now. I gotta look up and thank God like wow. Been new, I've always been good finding my way along. And if your misery love company, I'm staying home. Straight chillin', yeah, I'm straight chillin', yeah. And I've always been good finding my way along. See if your misery love company, I'm staying home. Straight chillin', yeah, straight chillin', yeah. Let's Relax your mind, can I be so
See, little shit
clear?
like that.
Be so clear.
Let's
Be
be
so clear.
further know
Relax your mind, can I be so clear?
what it is you really do.
Every time. What it do, y'all? What it do, y'all? I am the host with the motherfucking most. Chill motherfucking Murray. You are now tuned in live from the spot. Shout out to everybody tuned in, not tuned in. You know how we do and how we rock. Happy Tuesday evening. Happy Tuesday evening. I started off a little late this evening, but only because it's going to be a little bit of a shorter pod this evening. I believe it might be a shorter pod. I don't know for sure. We're going to get into a couple of things. I didn't get into last night. And yeah, just catching up. We're just catching up on things. I think we're going to do this 2-3 times a week. We're just going to make this a thing. You know? As far as dropping like exclusive stuff and then, you know, just catching up on the ratchetism, as I call it, the ratchetism. So as you saw in the intro, let me get myself on camera here. As you had saw in the intro, I might as well play that little bit of that because that's probably the funniest shit ever. It is this nigga here violated. This nigga here violated. Now, of course, I can't play, you know, the entire verses. I might even get in trouble for playing the clip, but I can't play the entire verses. But Tank and Tyrese had a verses over the weekend, and needless to say, it was one of the more better, classier verses, you know, that they've had. Very polished. Both of them sound very, very good vocally. Excellent, I want to say, vocally. Both of them. Tank put on a belt to ass performance with his, and I think that needs to be, you know, celebrated because Tank went into this same way that Mario went into this with Omarion. Right? Everyone thinks, oh, Marion's got the hits. He gonna blow Mario out the water and all this other shit. Yeah, okay. It's different when you come. See, that's the thing. Both of them can actually sing. That wasn't the focus though. It was the range that Tank had. It was the versatility that Tank had versus Tyrese. Tyrese, if you notice, had one certain sound as far as his hits go. So even when he was trying to crack a joke against Tank, like, oh, you put him to sleep, this, that, and the third. Nah. Tank had some shit. Tank had some shit in his bag. And he didn't even get into his whole bag. Love One Becoming. What's going on? He didn't even get to his whole bag. But this was equivalent to Jadakiss freestyle at the verses. This was equivalent to I know niggas that would go to jail and went to get their teeth fixed and he looked at Jewels. This is one of those.
Changing clothes, probably putting on another. Oh, now it's the jacket with the suede lapel. You switch from the shiny. Oh, you got a suede lapel, but you still got on that turtleneck. You recycle that turtleneck. You should take off that turtleneck. Anytime you feel like a take off that turtleneck, you gon' suffocate in this verse. Turtleneck. Don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Oh, don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Oh, don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Hallelujah, fan them down. Turtleneck. Oh, break it down, whisper it. Turtleneck. Oh, whisper it.
Turtleneck. It was very playful because even though they had a little bit of back and forth with the beef or whatever, it's always been a playful beef between them. But the only personal matter, and we don't have to get into too much because we have other things to get into. The other personal matter was TGT was not too long ago, right? Genuine, of course, doing what he's doing, and I guess you could say performing nowadays. He's still good vocally. He's still good vocally as well. He's had a lot of embarrassing moments, but Genuine is still having fun on tour, doing his thing, doing his legacy acting. Tyrese is a well-renowned actor, has a movie catalog. So the thing was, certain artists required more and, were catered to more than Tank during the TGT era. And that started to affect things business-wise with the mesh of the three. So when it came down to certain people wanting more than the other person, it became more than someone wanting, having a passion for just the music and just creating a professional atmosphere. It became, I need to be treated as this big star, and this other person just gets whatever, And Tank started to feel that, and now that type of thing can't be done to Tank because Tank has built his own thing now with his own R&B podcast, his own business ventures doing well, his own catalog, if you will. And a lot of people were surprised to see him do records that he had wrote as well. So that's the other thing, right? There was a lot more versatility on Tank's side than Tyrese. And when it came down to just R&B singing in general, it was like, okay, Tank was like, let me just put on display that I do this. There's a difference between this guy and that guy. I do this shit. I have wrote records for the other guy that's across the stage for me, as well as I wrote for other people in the industry. The guy on the other side can't do half the shit that I'm doing on this stage right now. Playing instruments, singing. There's a lot of shit that Tyrese could not fuck with Tank on. You could have the background singers and all that other shit. Tank was like, all right, I got this. Tank was like, all right, I got this. I got my background singers too. You know what I'm saying? I got my people with me, got my band with me too, but I'm gonna show you what I do. You could put on your show. I'm gonna show you what the fuck I do over here. Like I said, Tank displayed a belt to ass. It belt to ass that evening. And that was why I was even telling my friend, I was like, you got Tyrese? On paper, that's the thing. On paper, Tyrese wins. On that stage, it is a different story. It's a much different story. And even displaying the being able to freestyle battle with the singing. Nobody expected Tyrese to do that. I mean, Tank to do that. Nobody expected Tank to do that. And like I said, that's what, again, separated the talent between Tank and Tyrese. So, great verses. Amazing verses, in my opinion. Amazing verses. Moving right along. I wanted to at least start with some happy news first, But, and then I didn't get to have my take on that necessarily. I didn't get to have my take on the verses. But anyway, breaking news. Just before I got on here, I think a couple hours ago, TMZ put out the footage of Mr. Javante Davis. So footage of him and his ex-girlfriend has been released. Let me see here, because I do want to. That's another thing too. I'm taking it back. If you notice, I got the shades on for a reason. I do have something I want to share with you guys. That it's a reason why I have the shades on. Let me see. So, matter of fact, no. Duh. Okay, so. Bring this up over here. Yes, I can see. I see ya. All right, so Javante Tank Davis video shows boxer grabbing ex at the club, shown in court. Javante Davis' legal team released a statement to TMZ after the surveillance video surfaced, saying, "We were disappointed with the court's ruling today, as we do not believe the video tells the entire story." Javante Davis grabbed his ex-girlfriend by the neck at a Miami strip club during a dispute in October, and the ugly scene was captured on surveillance video. The attorney for the alleged victim rolled 8 clips in Florida, a Florida court on Tuesday, showing the then 30-year-old boxer confronting the woman in a back hallway at Tootsie's Cabaret in Miami shortly before 4 a.m. in October 2025. Davis appeared to grab the woman by the neck and hair, pushed her through the hallway and down a set of stairs, and through the closed, empty club before exiting an exterior door which led to a parking lot. And as the woman walked near Davis and another unknown man, she quickly turned around and bolted back through the door they had just exited seconds earlier. That was the end of the encounter. Days after the incident, the woman filed a police report telling authorities she was grabbed by the neck and hair. She also filed a lawsuit alleging physical assault on Tank. Tank Davis. A warrant for felony attempted kidnapping and misdemeanor battery was eventually issued for Javante's arrest in mid-January, and he was taken into custody about 2 weeks later. Tuesday's proceedings were for the civil lawsuit, not the criminal case. As for Davis, he's fighting back. He claims he didn't hurt the accuser and instead is being shaken down by her, claiming the incident was all part of an elaborate fraud to separate him from his money. Tank then filed a $20 million counterclaim this week, arguing his accuser cost him a massive payday when he lost his Jake Paul fight, which was canceled after the allegations came to light. I thought Tank didn't want to take that fight, though. So what's the real truth there, Tank? Because you said you didn't want to take the damn fight because you didn't want to follow the script. So what's the real truth there? The accusers for Tank alleged victim told us Davis' countersuit was simply ridiculous, and he's filed a motion to have it dismissed. What Mr. Davis did to Courtney was outrageous, and the judge agreed. This is not the first, second, or third time that Mr. Davis has acted in this manner. The accuser's attorney told us his defense team showed their desperation by attempting to attack Courtney when the video clearly showed what Courtney said was truthful and consistent with her affidavit, the police arrest, and the incident report by her employer. So, needless to say, this, again, isn't the first time that this gentleman has been talked about with these things. Let me see here. Let's see here. Documented history of domestic violence allegations and arrests involving women, including incidents in 2020, 2022, and the most recent 2025. So key incidents including grabbing the ex-girlfriend by the throat in 2020, 2022, arrest for allegedly striking a woman in the 2025 incident, of course. So February 2020, he was seen in the video grabbing his ex-girlfriend by the throat. I'm gonna just do this. Cause I ain't pulling up shit. I mean, I ain't download shit yet. So not for that anyway. Oh, damn, that's a whole public event. Not to laugh, but damn. You've been caught in 4K multiple times doing this. And this is a whole basketball event. There's kids there, sir. This is like a Miami. It's like a Miami U game. It's like a college game. Oh damn! They's ready to fuck this. They's ready to jump this nigga. They's ready to jump Tank. Like who you grabbing, bruh? Look at it. They ready to fight Tank. They see what he done did. They ready to fight Tank. His security trying to hold them back. They ready to fight Tank. Like, nah, bro. We just seen what you did. That is insane right there. And I said he is lucky somebody ain't really rock his shit. Like I see what happened with back here where he was getting pushed through the door. It was like, yo, they probably seen what he did and just rushed him. Like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Yeah, see, he did. See, somebody ran up to him like, yo, what's your problem? And Tank swung on him. Look, it bro rushed him up against the thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is the 2020 incident where he was seen grabbing his ex-girlfriend by the throat at a celebrity basketball game. Okay, so it was a celebrity basketball game at the Miami spot. He was charged with simple battery, domestic violence, according to CNN. And there's this one, December 2022. He was arrested in Broadway County, Florida, for allegedly hitting a woman with a closed hand type slap. Sound like a fist, which ESPN reported caused a small abrasion to her lip. The woman later stated he did not assault her and that she made an unnecessary call to law enforcement. Then, of course, the July 2025 one, arrested on battery charge for allegedly assaulting the mother of his children. On Father's Day, the charges were dropped after the victim declined to prosecute. Notes from ESPN, and then there's the October or January one where he does that at the strip club. So it was twice in 2025, and then this one happens in 2020, and another one in 2022. Yeah, he got to sit down. He got to sit down. He got to sit down. He got a whole timeline of abuse on women. But birds of a feather flock together, as they say. Birds of a feather flock together, as they say. Matter of fact, before I even do that, I might as well play the footage. I might as well play the footage here. Oop. I do have my chat open just to make sure I'm not missing nobody. Just to make sure I'm not missing nobody. All right.
Tonight, we're seeing surveillance video for the first time of the altercation between boxer Gervonta Davis and his ex-girlfriend that landed Davis behind bars. Video from October 2025 at a Miami strip club shows a man who appears to be Davis grabbing a woman by her head and allegedly forcing her toward a parking garage. You can see Davis continue to be aggressive with the woman as they move through the club. Davis is currently facing charges including kidnapping, battery, and attempted false imprisonment from the incident. Charges he's since bonded out on. He's scheduled for arraignment in Miami tomorrow morning.
Ty, what's going on? So hard to catch you on the East Coast? Yeah, I know, because it's like it's about 1 o'clock in the morning for y'all right now. So I definitely understand. I'm gonna start trying to go earlier, maybe like a Friday or Saturday or some afternoon, and do it early. But I know I have a late night audience too that I have to cater to. So, but for my East Coast people, I do need to start going on a little bit earlier. You're absolutely right. So, As far as Mr. Tank Davis here, like I said, birds of a feather do flock together, and there is a video here. Pretty funny video, but I do remember sharing this video too of the infamous Diddy hug where he picked him up. But it was certain things that, you know, this guy pointed out that was pretty funny.
That was crazy, man, because like it started, they was toasting drinks. We chose the right introduction.
As you can see, Tank right there doing shots with Diddy at a party.
Now you got to make a toast to Diddy.
Now you got to make a toast to Diddy.
And I know you didn't. Then Diddy runs up on him, picks him up, and Tank there with his feet dangling in the air. So Tank slapping the on the back and like, put me down, right? Then Tank like, yo, shake my hand, we men, I'm out, right? Diddy bites his lip after Tank shakes his hand.
It's the lip bite for me. It's the goddamn lip bite after he done did that. Like he done sealed the deal on the handshake.
Then Tank like, yo, shake my hand, we men, I'm out, right? Diddy bites his lip after Tank shakes his hand. Then he starts doing like a dance, like clapping his hands and spinning around in a circle and shit. And then starts screaming, looking for Tank again. And then Tank is down by the swimming pool, right? Which I believe is the same pool that Devin Haney was in. And he's talking with these like, yo, man, this crazy, man. This picked me up, man. Probably ready to whoop that right after that, man. But then Diddy comes and jumps off the balcony. Stop harassing this man. Get me the out this. That was crazy, man.
Birds of a feather. Birds of a feather do flock together. Fantamos Fanto, what's going on? I got a little bit of a late night crowd, you know. got a little bit of a late night crowd, you know. What's going on, man? What's going on? Oh, but yeah, Mr. Tank. He been at a few Diddy parties. He been at a few Diddy parties, as we can see. Is this helping to keep you awake? I know that's right. So before I get on, because we're gonna stay on sports and hip hop, I guess, for a second. But before I get into that, that just reminds me, I might as well get into this real quick. So I was sent this earlier. Shout out to the homie Black. And shout out to if you're in here, Troublesome First the Bomb, if you're in here. Shout out to you, brother. I saw this came across a brother timeline, and I was taken back. I was very taken back. Very, very taken back. Because I was like, oh. Because this is what I actually do it for. This is what I actually do it for. He had reposted the Nipsey Hussle. Because I get, if you really want to think about it, right, this is really where it started at for a lot of people that came to the channel. Was the Nipsey Hussle video I did. And from there, it's just been a lovely time with everybody. It's been a lovely time doing this. But it once again reminded me that I don't do this for no reason, that the big payoff is just getting the truth out there to people. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just me getting the truth out there to people. So me connecting dots always, and just bringing my thoughts to things. Like I said, the big payoff is when people catch on to what I've been saying all these years. Like, I don't drill Project Bluebeam and aliens being real and draconian reptilians. I don't drill that into you guys' heads for no reason. I drill that into you guys' heads because it's something that's it's fact. It's not fiction. I don't do anything fiction up here. I try not to represent anything fiction for you guys up here. If anything, I've always given you guys the truth, even the transparency of what's going on in my life. So, shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all y'all that tune in night after night. Shout out to everybody that tunes in night after night. I love all you guys. I greatly appreciate you guys. And like I said, this was a tearjerker for me to even see somebody, like I said, share a clip from the podcast, as well as, then he had posted more information. I didn't see he had posted this information back in 2024, 2 years ago. Hadn't even seen this. I had no idea. So once again, shout out to First to Bomb, man. Shout out to First to Bomb for sure, for sure. The next thing I wanted to get into was who that there? Night, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, see, I got the chat. See, I like to look at the phone because it comes in a lot faster than the chat that I have on the right side of the screen. I need to get dual monitors. I need to just stop playing and get dual monitors like everybody else got. I got this damn laptop. I've been doing this on for years. I'm just so used to it now. But so yeah, that was another reason why I had the shades on, because back in when I used to do the podcast in the beginning, like I said, I've told y'all time and time again, right? Even when I did this Nipsey Hussle podcast, there was maybe one or maybe two people in the room, right? I was just doing it I wasn't even doing it to YouTube at the time. I was doing this, I believe, straight to Twitch. This wasn't even on YouTube. This was me doing this on Twitch, and then I had uploaded the whole podcast to YouTube, as I always had done. And at first, I started to go back to doing it that way, but I know you guys do love me being live on YouTube. I probably should one or two times during the next pod just do a Twitch only joint and then upload it to YouTube. I had did that with the Jay-Z. Actually, no. The last time I did that was the Jay-Z and Pusha T with Harvey Weinstein, because I didn't want YouTube to shut me down. So I made sure I did that on Twitch first, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. But yeah, shout out to you guys for always tuning in. And so we're gonna stay on the on that side of things. Also, yeah, matter of fact, we'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone for right now. I was gonna say that I was gonna talk about the Rick Ross and Remy Ma thing, but that's kind of irrelevant. Kendrick Lamar is going to diss J. Cole, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, and the industry. The Heart Part 7 is coming. Okay. Madman 90 had been saying that before. I keep hearing about this. That Kendrick has something coming out, but it remains to be seen. I keep hearing Kendrick has an album in the works. Everybody on the Twitter keeps saying that he's got a couple of surprises for the summer. That's what I've been hearing. Kendrick has a couple of surprises for the summer, and if I know Kendrick, he's waiting in the wing. Oh, you changed your name. Okay, that makes sense. Slugs of Truth, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, he sound like Madman 90. I'm like, he sounds just like Madman 90 when he said that. But been a minute. I know that's right, brother. I know that's right. I've been watching Baby Keem. Yeah, the Ville's been also talking about that too. The Ville has also been talking about the Drake and Baby Keem connection. You both accounts? Okay, that's what's up. Salute to you being in here, brother. Always love you being in here. You put it like this, right? And since we was on the topic of people that's been along for the ride, you were here for another, I would say, spike in the career of things when we were going over the board, the clue board, and pretty much the clue board for Kendrick and all the information we had for for Drake. Madman was in here going through everything with us. I do remember that. Swayze World, what's going on? So yeah, everybody coming in. That's why I said I know I was at a late night crowd. That's why I said, you know what, let me just do an 11 o'clock joint tonight, because every time I start at like 9 or 10 o'clock and I end at like 12 or 1 o'clock, everybody's just, hey, what's up? So I'm like, shit. Let me start a little bit later. We start a little bit later this time. Just for my late night people, my late night crowd. I ain't named it late night show in a minute, but yeah. All right. While we are on, like I said, the subject of things, King Von stream is classic. Even the way you kicked it up, yeah, I appreciate that. I greatly appreciate that. The King Von one, it was I would say the King Von. Let me just say this, right? When I do something like King Von, or I do Mo3, or even Rich Homie Quan, I am hoping that it's one of those things that's like what happened with Nipsey. Even if people don't understand what I'm doing now, or even the Migos when I did the Takeoff one, and we went through channeling Takeoff spirit, and he told us pretty much everything that happened. We even found a Diddy connection to Takeoff. So I'm hoping that those things just catch on later on. They don't have to catch on now. You know what I mean? No, I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo, actually. The Mind's Eye, what's going on? What's going on? I am a Leo, August 15th, brother. August 15th. Yeah, like I said, when I do it's the Mo3 thing and Takeoff, when I do pieces like that, it's mainly so even the Little Kim one that's on Patreon. I'm hoping people catch on later on. They don't have to catch on now, but it's stuff that, you know, it can only be recognized as the truth, nothing more. So, because I don't fabricate anything, I give you stuff from the horse's mouth. We connect the dots together, and I always say at the end, you guys, you know, come up with your own conclusions. You know, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, Slug. That's what's up. Me look at my phone too. I feel like I'm missing some things too that's not there over there in that chat. Jay-Z's trying to eliminate Kendrick Lamar. We were right. Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to get into J. Cole's interview. He did do an interview with Carmelo Anthony. I do want to play that here in just a few. But before I get into that, I want to talk about this Jaden Ivey thing that's going on. Takeoff was the first video you had seen. That's what's up. The Takeoff one was special. The Takeoff one was very special. That one was very special because I was surprised to find out so much of what Diddy was actually doing behind the scenes further with a lot of other people that were in the industry, like P, and then Coach K. So I didn't realize that, you know, he had a hand with Scooter Braun in the $300 million deal that they did to the Korean company when they sold the label. So I was like, oh, that would make plenty sense why he brokered the deal, because of what happened with Takeoff and him helping Quavo set up Takeoff. So a lot of people was thinking that, you know, whatchamacallit now? Trying to think of his name now. OG in Texas. OG in Houston, Texas. People were thinking he had something to do with it. Now, why is his name not coming to mind? Why is his name not coming to mind? I don't want to look it up because I don't want to throw myself off subject. But all right, fuck it. Because I got to get rid of that tab anyway. What the hell was his name now? I don't know why my mind is slipping on it. Somebody gonna say it in the chat. Oh, your grandpa was a Leo? That's what's up. That's what's up. Why is his name not ringing a bell right now? I don't know why. I can't. Why can't I don't know why I put in Texas, Houston, Texas OG. Why the fuck is his name not coming to mind right now. I don't know why. Jay Prince, thank you. I'm like, why the fuck I can't think of it? Thank you, Swayze. I'm like, why the fuck I can't think of his name? Jay Prince. A lot of people thought Jay Prince and his family had something to do with Takeoff's murder, but it was actually Diddy and Quavo. So that actually had set him up that evening. Takeoff pretty much had to be killed prior to the deal actually being brokered because his rights to pretty much the rights to his music wasn't solidified, because it was like a split in the middle. Quavo was pretty much doing his own thing already. Offset was also doing his own thing. Takeoff was kind of like a in the middle thing. So even though they had did the whole uncle and nephew thing, that was pretty much the setup for Takeoff to be taken away, pretty much, because they had to give him some type of head start to when he passed away, that his catalog will be worth anything at all. So they had to give him some type of boost before they took him out. But yeah, that was a very interesting one we did there. The Takeoff one. I might play that on the pod one day. I might play that here on YouTube, because I know that's a lot of it's some people that just haven't seen the Takeoff one, and that's a pretty cool one. I might just do that just for the hell of it, like on Thursday or Friday or something, just for the hell of it. Just do like a re-premiere of it, like I did with the with Twitch and Ann Hesh. If you guys remember, I did I replayed the Ellen DeGeneres and Twitch and Ann Hesh. Like I said, when I do those pieces, it's just I'm hoping people catch on later. But yeah, DMX on Drink Champs. There was definitely a send off there. That's another thing too. You have to watch for different events that happened before they actually happened. Like I told you before, the omen that I had before Young Dolph. The cloudy day that it was, and it was a cloudy day also while he was performing at Rolling Loud. Like it just had an omen to it that he was going to pass. And then I found out the news that same week about him telling his cousin that he had made too much money. He was scared because he made too much money, and that he felt that Ghazi and Empire was going to take him out. And then of course the Yo Gotti thing got into the mix, but lo and behold, we already knew who actually took him out, because it was a Michael Jackson situation with Young Dolph, where he had made so much money, he was trying to gain partnership of Empire, and Ghazi wasn't having that. So rather than him taking his money and leaving Empire, Ghazi decided to take him out because he wasn't worth anything to him alive. So he was like, you know what, fuck it. Might as well just end him now, because he's going to leave the label anyway, and he's one of my biggest selling artists. So that's why Empire also had the history it had with Mo 3 and everything. Y'all get me going down the rabbit hole now. Y'all get me go down memory lane. Going down memory lane. I tried to, man. I tried to, Swayze. I definitely do try to. Which reminds me, I am working on the Doja Cat piece. I keep saying the Kim Kardashian one was going to come out, but I haven't. The reason why I couldn't do the Kim Kardashian one is because of these goddamn copyrights for the Kim Kardashian show. It's the damn show. It's hard to get clips from the show. Like, it would be a Patreon only thing, and I couldn't put it on YouTube like I did with the Santa Baby one. So it's like, I hate doing Patreon just only, and I can't show the shit at all on YouTube. And majority of that shit is the damn Kim Kardashian episodes that are fucking copyrighted. So I kind of scrapped the Kim Kardashian, the Witches of the West one that I was working on. I kind of scrapped that one, I'll be honest with y'all. But the Doja Cat one is a very short piece, but the Doja Cat one, I have to do that on Patreon because they made me delete the video before. Remember when I had did a short little piece on her talking to Scarlett on her little if you was here for that live, you know what I'm talking about, where she was talking to herself on her own little talk show, and it was like her talking to herself in hell. So they made me delete that whole thing because there was a copyright strike on that video. The whole video got blocked because of just that footage, and I was like, wait, wow, that of all things, not even her song. I had her whole music video was in the damn live, but that particular interview of her talking to herself got blocked. I was like, okay, I see what this is about. And then all of a sudden now she has the personality disorder. So I'm like, okay, she has a personal. Now all of a sudden she has this personality disorder. She's going through the motions of being lonely and single and this, that, that. I was like, crazy how the timing worked with me doing that one little piece and getting taken out, and then 2 weeks later she comes out with the whole bipolar shit. I was like, okay, I was on to something. Then her father comes out, and anyway, we'll get into that on that piece with the Patreon. But Jaden Ivey, Mr. Jaden Ivey, has been in the heat lately for his comments towards the LGBTQ and the NBA being prideful. So let me make sure I don't knock out nothing I ain't supposed to. Just doing a little cleanup real quick. A little cleanup on my tabs. So Jaden Ivey was let go of the Bulls earlier. Or yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So Bulls waived guard Jaden Ivey after his anti-gay comments. The Chicago Bulls waived guard Jaden Ivey for conduct detrimental to the team Monday, hours after he posted a lengthy video rant, was not lengthy, on social media about religion and other topics that included anti-gay sentiments. Ivey has gone live on his Instagram account more frequently in the past week, posting at least 3 lengthy videos after he was shut down for the rest of the season by the team because of injury last Thursday. On Monday morning, he called out the NBA for promoting Pride Month, saying it celebrates unrighteousness. Now, he's on a podcast that just premiered a couple hours ago. And on that podcast, is someone knocking on my door? Oh, somebody walked in. Yo. So he was just on a podcast a couple hours ago, and he pretty much was saying that he was good to play. He wasn't necessarily in a hurt state to where he couldn't necessarily play. They had just sat him down because they didn't want him to play. And he was like, they're not going to make the playoffs anyway. So what's the big deal with y'all really just doing a runaround with sitting me down and then, suspending me from the team and letting me go? All this doesn't even make any sense, all because of my beliefs of, pride and everything. So the world proclaims LGBTQ right, Ivey said during the video stream. They proclaim Pride Month, and the NBA does too. They show it to the world, they say. Come join us for Pride Month to celebrate unrighteousness, they proclaim it. Well, I'll just play the video for you guys. But yeah, the Bulls had acquired Ivey at 24 years old from the Detroit Pistons before the trade deadline last month. He got drafted with the number 5 pick. But the bigger talk is, the freedom of speech in this and why he even got released in the first place. But let me just play this first one here of the first time he got to. Okay, so yeah, here we go.
The Chicago Bulls are waiving Jaden Ivey after only playing 4
games
with the team for recent anti-LGBTQ comments on social media, including this 45-minute live stream on his Instagram where he said a few of these things.
That the world can proclaim LGBTQ. Right? They proclaim Pride Month and the NBA. They proclaim it. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month to celebrate unrighteousness. They proclaim it. They proclaim it on the billboards. They proclaim it in the streets. Unrighteousness. So how is it that one can't speak righteousness? How is it one that how are they to say that you man, this man is crazy? Don't we all doesn't even the world make judgments on certain things? So how is it when the gospel is preached that people hate it? That people don't want to hear it, and they think it's strange when someone preaches the gospel, the true gospel. God did not make a man to be with a man. How God did not make a girl to be with a girl. God made a man for the purpose of procreation, to have another child. How can a woman bear a child with a woman? How? Unless they go to the doctor and it can't happen physically. They have the same body part. They cannot bear children unless they get something done. Right? So God didn't make that to be God didn't make a woman for a woman. No, he made a woman for the man. That's exactly what God made. He made things good. He made the trees. He made the sun. If the sun was ever closer, we would burn. But he made it in a proper place so that we get the proper light in the day. He made the grass. He gave us water to drink. If we didn't have water to drink, we would be dehydrated. God is faithful. And Jesus bless you all.
So yeah, that was pretty much the video that he had gotten in trouble for. And what doesn't make sense to me is how can you get in trouble for, I had to take the shades off, might as well. How can you get in trouble for just having, your freedom of speech? But somebody like, let me show you this here. So this, for example, right? Ja Morant. You remember Ja Morant and his shit that happened? So you can get in trouble for your freedom of speech. Now move that. You can get let go from your entire team.
Grizzly star Ja Morant has been suspended for a second time after once again appearing to flash a gun on social media. The video circulated on Saturday night. It shows Morant with what appears to be a handgun while he's riding in a friend's car. Yesterday, the Grizzlies said they were aware of the video and suspended Morant from all team activities pending league review. In March, Morant was suspended for...
But a nigga can have a whole gun on his live and just get a slap on the wrist and a suspension for a week. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You can't say nothing about gay pride. You can't say nothing against gay pride, I should say. But you could damn sure wave your gun and listen to some ratchet music on live and be in the NBA. You gonna be all right with that. They'll give you a slap on the. You'll be all right in a couple of weeks. Just ride the bench for a little bit so they don't say nothing else to you. Stay your ass off live with that damn gun. We know you got it. He don't get thrown off the Grizzlies for that. No. But let a man talk about his religion with Jesus Christ and his beliefs against gays. Now, me myself personally, I have no personal gripe against gays. Have no beef with LGBTQ. I have no beef. My only thing has always been, we do not need to force feed it to the children. That has been my only thing. So even in this, I have to ask myself, out of all the things you could let the man go for, why it had to be this? Reason why I'm asking is because my whole thing with the NBA is why I got to celebrate it anyway. What they got to do with sports? There's not even anybody gay in the damn NBA except Karl Anthony Towns. It's just that nigga. Jason Collins don't play no more. I think Isaac Towns or something like that. He don't play no damn. What was it? Isaac something. Not Isaac Hughes, but what the fuck was his name? What the hell is his goddamn name? It was Isaac something. Isaac Humphries, yeah. But that was in the NBL. That wasn't even in the NBA. But yeah. Ain't nobody actively gay in the goddamn NBA. What the fuck y'all celebrating it for? that's what my whole thing was. I'm like, why y'all got to celebrate it? For what? for what? What promotional gain do you have from it? I can see y'all doing things for cancer and breast cancer month and all that shit, but y'all don't got nothing to do with Pride Month. Basketball don't got nothing to do with Pride Month whatsoever. So my whole thing was, what does his belief got to do with him being able to shoot a basketball? Nothing. What does that got to do with his conduct with the team? I could see you saying, okay, it affects our branding and marketing for the Bulls. No, the fuck it don't. No, the fuck it don't. What any of this? What does him and his belief with NBA celebrating Pride Month got to do with him being able to shoot basketball? Absolutely nothing. DJ Big Game, what's going on? Yes, definitely hit that like button. It helps the algorithm. It helps other people see. Please hit that like and subscribe button. But his freedom of speech should have nothing to do with him being able to play on a court. Have nothing to do with how he interacts with his team. Nothing to do with how he interacts with his coach, staff. Hell, the CEO of the Bulls. He had nothing to do with it. The man just said what he said on. He said how he felt on live. But Mr. John Morant could openly wave a gun while he going through a car wash, riding through the hood. Just, I don't get it. I don't understand. And now his family, the poor man family calling him psycho. The poor man family is calling him psycho.
Jaden Ivey went live on Instagram again today and said even his own loved ones are calling him psycho, and also that his wife won't even text him. And Swaggy P did his own Instagram live telling Jaden Ivey how he could get back into the NBA.
Oh, matter of fact, before I play this one, because I forgot. We played it, what? I forgot. He did a couple of other lives in response to him getting released from the Bulls. Almost forgot that.
Way to play, bro. Right? I said they said my conduct is detrimental to the team. Right? Why didn't they just say we don't agree with his stance on LGBTQ? Why didn't they say that? But how is it conduct detrimental to the team? What did I do to the team? What did I do to the players? I did nothing but practice with them, play with them, pass the ball to them, good teammate to them. Said good job, good shot. I said, good job, good pass. Way to play, bro. Right? I said these things to my teammates. Was never detrimental to them. So why is it that the NBA and the Chicago Bulls say that I'm detrimental to the team? How? Cause I believe in the truth. Because I know Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. How? How is my conduct detrimental to the team? Because of what I believe. Because of what the truth is.
I feel the same way. I feel the same exact way, Jaden. But then this is the one that's going viral. That's making him look, quote unquote, crazy.
I believe he's a Christian because he wrote. That's why you got Steph Curry and he not even surrendered. And y'all believe he's a Christian. Y'all believe he's a Christian because he wrote Philippians 4:13. Y'all think he's a Christian. But he cursing just like the world.
We are now almost ready to go, so please take your seats. Fasten your seatbelt.
Friendship with the world is enmity with God. He's friendship with the world. He don't know Jesus. And I pray he comes to the truth. That him and his family will be saved in Jesus' name. Because all that stuff is not going to matter on Judgment Day. All them rings he got.
I'll buy it, yes.
All them rings LeBron got. All them rings Michael Jordan got.
Now, the thing is, I agree with him on that, right? So I agree with him on all the rings LeBron got, Jordan got, everybody got. Ain't going to matter on Judgment Day. I do agree with him on that because we all know about, the crooked ways of billionaires in Hollywood. We have talked about LeBron's, his allegations with the WNBA player that alleged that he trafficked her, him being alleged to be at Diddy parties, among other things with LeBron, right? Jordan in his past, as far as, why he was really suspended from the NBA, or should I say why he really retired, quote unquote, for the first time. He was really suspended from the NBA because of his gambling problem. Then the rumor of his father being a victim of his gambling addiction, among other things. Jordan's recent video of him patting down a boy looking crazy, among other things. Again, and then you add Steph Curry into the mix. The only thing with Steph Curry is what you said about Steph Curry was kind of out of context, because it didn't have any clarity to it or as to why you would mention Steph Curry. There hasn't been any really gay rumors about Steph Curry other than, if you, and then put me on record saying this, right? Because I've always kind of not necessarily said anything about the whole Ayesha Curry thing. I'm very aware of the Ayesha Curry interviews that have been going around, and people are saying that she's mocking him and this and the third. I'm very aware of those things because I also look at that in a Jada Pinkett, Will Smith way, to where this woman is able to say these things openly and truthfully about him, but of course he feels no type of way towards it. But we all know who is also the breadwinner in the household and why she is able to say these things, because if there was a divorce, there is a prenup, and we all know who wins in the prenup, in the divorce. So of course Steph Curry cannot say anything or openly say anything, but that would also lead one to believe, well, is this really a Will Smith, Jada Pinkett situation to where this man might have something behind closed doors that we don't know about going on, into why he was able to even get the amount of rings that he has, why he was able to get the special treatment of the 3-point ball that was so special a couple of years ago. Remember when Steph Curry couldn't fucking miss a damn shot? Now all of a sudden he can't hit a damn shot sometimes. So there was those special times where even, matter of fact, I'll bring this up because shout out to the homie that sent me this as well, because that just brings me up on my other topic right here. I'll just bring this up real quick because it coincides with what I'm talking about here. Because, Lakers coach J.J. Redick, and when he had said this, about. So there was a movie called Blue Chips. If you guys remember back in the day, there was a movie called Blue Chips, right? And in Blue Chips, the games were rigged pretty much with this ball that had a magnet inside of it. So he actually referenced that, right? Ironically, he references that. Let me see here. So I want to show you the email. Isha, so lovely. What's going on? What's going on? I want to share my email. But yeah, I do have this clip here of Coach JJ Redick ironically talking about magnets in the rim.
What did you see from your team get rolling there? Efficient second quarter there on offense, especially. What did you see from your team get rolling there?
The ball stopped rattling in and out.
That helps usually in basketball.
When there's 5 of those shots in a quarter, it's a little odd.
All right, for sure. Second half.
What was that movie? I think it took place with the Washington Huskies or something. No, maybe that's a different movie. There's a basketball movie about that where they put a little electronic chip in the ball, and every time I got near the rim, they would make it rattle off.
I wish I knew, and I totally believe you. I totally believe you.
Zone was good for us in the second quarter. We slowed them down, held them to whatever 18 points in the second quarter. Zone.
Yeah, so he pretty much tried to say, okay, I'm saying a little too much now. Let me just let me sidestep it. But yeah, NBA games are pretty much rigged, and I've talked about how the NBA, all sports to me, is no different than WWE. It's all fabricated. It's all for when the NBA had their gambling allegation. Notice how that got swept up under the rug real quick because it started to get real loud. It started to get real loud for all sports. They couldn't let that happen, right? We talked about that on the pod where Gilbert Arenas was even making his little side jokes, and then we saw the sweater worn by Chauncey Billups, showing his allegiance to the company, saying like, "Yeah, I'm keeping my quiet." You know what I mean? So, and again, notice how again that same player, all that shit got swept up under the rug. All that shit got swept up under the rug. Because, like I said, if the real truth was to come out about sports being rigged through gambling and the mafia, it would be a very interesting time for sports, very interesting time for sports as far as their pockets decreasing. So again, Jaden Ivey should not be, ridiculed and defamed for what he is saying, but unfortunately that is how this thing goes. And like I said, now this man's family is supposedly calling him psycho, he's saying.
Jaden Ivey went live on Instagram again today and said even his own loved ones are calling him psycho, and also that his wife won't even text him. And Swaggy P did his own Instagram live telling Jaden Ivey how he could get back into the NBA after his recent videos.
You are who you serve, whether it be your mother, your children. You serve your bosses at your job, whether you serve sin, whether you serve righteousness. We all have a choice. We all have a choice to whom we'll serve today. You show who you serve. Those who know me, right? Those who are around me, those who claim they love me, right? They're my blood, but they show who they serve. Right? And that's why the Bible says, that's what Jesus says, he who does the will of my Father is my mother, brother, and sister. There was brothers, Jesus had brothers, and they turned their back on Jesus. His own blood brothers turned their backs on the Son of God. His own brothers. The word is true. Those who are around me, those are my family members betraying because of what I spoke, the truth, betraying me, saying that I'm losing my mind, saying that I'm crazy, saying that I don't know the truth. These are my own family members who love me, my blood, those who raised me, saying that I don't know the truth, man, he's psycho. He's this, he's that. Those are my own household, all because of the gospel, all because I said the truth. That unrighteousness will not be let into God's kingdom. That's the truth. The Bible is true. And they think I'm crazy. But all I come to show them is that if you repent and turn from your sin and accept the words of Christ, you can have life. You can have life abundantly. It's no peace in fornication. That's not your wife. That's not your wife. You don't know her. You don't know her. You're not married to her. You're not meant to sleep with 15 women. That's not what your body was used for. You were meant to have one wife. How God made it. He made Adam, he made Eve for Adam. Not multiple partners. Not multiple wives. Not committing adultery. Not for serving false religions who don't give you peace, who don't tell you the truth so they can lead you to hell. That's what all these false religions preach. They don't preach nothing. And y'all think I'm losing my mind. That's why the people around me think I'm losing my mind. But I have peace. I have joy. I have the fruits of the Spirit. I don't have to search for those things no more. Jesus Christ saved me. And he can do the same for those who repent and believe in the gospel. But y'all gonna say I'm crazy and that, yeah, he's mentally going insane. He's mentally going insane. But I'm not. I have peace. I have joy. I love God. By his grace, he has transformed me. Made me a new creature in him. And he can do the same to those who repent and believe the gospel. That's why my wife in here, and she not even texting me. I love my blood. I love those who are close to me. I love them with the love of Jesus Christ. I love them. I want them to be in the knowledge of truth. I want them to have eternal life. I want all to be saved. That's what God desires. He doesn't want anyone to perish. So why would I desire that? I want all my loved ones to have peace and joy and full of the Spirit. Not stand up for unrighteousness. Not stand for the world who goes against God.
I'm gonna tell you where you messed up at.
This is Swaggy P in the NBA.
It ain't even about the community you was talking about. It's the fact that your ass went at Steph Curry.
Now, that was a very important part there for me. Because I was like, wait. So, and here's the other thing you have to remember, right? He was not let go until he said what he said about Curry. They had talked to him about what he said about the LGBTQ, but Swaggy P just made a good note to say, well, the Bulls didn't necessarily let him go until the morning that he said what he said about Curry. The Bulls had made the final decision to let him go until that. They didn't make the public. They didn't make it a public thing until the video about Curry came out. At least that's how I'm seeing it on my timeline. It didn't go public as far as him being released from the Bulls until the video with Curry had came out, which Swaggy P is making a very good point of, because it's like, okay, this is similar to when someone would talk about LeBron. So, of course, this is probably a bad example of Delonte West that talked about LeBron's mom, or Deshaun Stevenson, that had his bad past with LeBron. You know what I mean? It's been a couple of instances where LeBron has gotten people kicked off of his team. He's had the Kobe treatment. Just trying to think of a couple of other instances where players get special treatment. Of course, we know about Jordan. We know about Iverson. This is practice, right? I don't have to go to practice. There's a lot of instances you could think of where a lot of players get very special treatment, and that's on and off the court. So if even if you were to say something about them in the press, because they're protected by a certain order of elite, you get the hammer. It's not just you get suspended or something like that. You get the actual hammer. That's why I made a note of why is it that Ja Morant can wave a gun around on Instagram Live, but this man can't talk about his religious beliefs. It wasn't him talking about his religious beliefs as much as him talking about Steph Curry.
You're done. You said anything about that man. You said something about Steph Curry. Oh, yeah. You talk about Steph Curry, you called the golden child, not a Christian? Oh, yeah. God might even do something to you for that. God don't play about him. What other you know that's 6 feet and the best player in the NBA? Jaden Ivey, your best bet now is just be gay. Your best bet is just be gay. Like, just fuck it. The next thing you know, I talked about gays because I'm gay. Just say some shit like that because you're done. You talked about Steph Curry. Now you just got to get them on your side to come back. You want to come back to the league, you're going to have to do some Collison twin shit. Yeah. Don't you ever talk about Steph Curry. You know who that is? God done blessed them. The NBA done blessed them. God, you done told God's favorite child that he's not a Christian. I can't believe this shit. Yeah, so they did something to his food on the plane. You don't never supposed to eat the steak. Don't eat the food. Don't eat the meatloaf they give you on the plane. That's what it is, y'all. He's just a little messed up. I like it. I believe in God and all that, but yeah. Even I know not to mess with one of God's favorite. I'm one of God's favorite. Yeah, I know. Steph, he don't mean it. He don't mean it. It hurts when you get cut and shit. I didn't even want to get my ring after that. I was like, damn, man, I got cut. I don't want to go get this ring. So let him slide, y'all. The world, let him slide. He don't know what he's talking about.
Now, the thing is, he does know what he's talking about. The only thing, in my opinion, is why would Swaggy P say that unless it was something that he knows? You see what I'm saying? Swaggy P said that with confidence, that you say anything about Steph Curry, something's going to definitely happen to you. No different than, like I said, if he was to say something about LeBron James, Jordan, you know what I'm saying? It's certain names that you just can't say, even certain celebrities in the industry, because they're protected by the media. Speaking of which, I want to play this video here by Stephen A. Smith real quick, because this is funny to me.
We have some NBA news out of Chicago. On Monday, the Bulls released guard Jaden Ivey for comments they deemed detrimental to the team after Ivey posted some anti-gay sentiments in a lengthy social media post. Ivey specifically took exception to the NBA's embrace of Pride Month, citing the league's, quote, unrighteousness, end quote. Ivey has been active on social media lately, vocalizing his religious views. Ivey's mother, Niele, is the head women's basketball coach at Notre Dame, right up the road at South Bend. Stephen A., what do you make of the Bulls' decision here to waive Jaden Ivey?
It's perfectly within their right to do so. I've only met Jaden Ivey once or twice. I liked him. I met him when he was drafted. His parents were there, obviously. It's one of those situations, I think, and this is why I wanted to tackle this subject, because I wanted to make a point that's very, very important. People have their different views. And on First Take, especially, as long as I'm here, we're not going to sit up here and ostracize anybody. People are entitled to be conservative. They're entitled to be liberal. They're entitled to be, independent, whatever side of the aisle you lean towards, whatever your religious beliefs or what have you, that's fine. But what's needed in terms of the message that's being conveyed, what's needed to be brought across is that just as I said those individuals have that right, so do the Bulls organization or any organization. They have a right to be picky about who they want representing their brand and their product, as does the NBA. The NBA, the NFL, and various sports leagues pride themselves on being inclusionary. That's the fact. That's the way that it goes. And they don't want to come across as alienating anyone. And when you say things and do things that are antithetical to anything that they represent, then you're going to hear from the brand. And by the way, Jaden Ivey, listen to me, my brother. I work for ESPN, which is owned by Walt Disney. It doesn't mean that I have to parrot Walt Disney's speech or I have to march lockstep in every single thing that we believe as a company. But I do have to be careful about what I say and how I convey my thoughts, my opinions, my beliefs, etc., being mindful and cognizant of a brand that you represent. It applies not just to an employer, it applies not just to a company, it applies not just to a league, it applies to everybody. If Ryan Clark has the Pivot and I have my own show and whatever, and we have advertisers and sponsors, those advertisers and sponsors are going to veer away from us if it comes down to us replicating or disseminating a message that's the antithesis of everything they stand for and what they believe.
You know what I hear? It's what I hear Stephen A. Smith doing.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha real smooth.
That's what I hear him doing right now. I hear this nigga sidestepping. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. This nigga jumping around, crisscrossing throughout this whole thing. Nigga, get to the point, number one. Number two, stop trying to protect your elites, Stephen A. Smith. And you started out with a very credible thing saying you're not going to ostracize anybody. Yes, I understand that. You're not going to criticize anybody or talk about anybody else in their beliefs. Right? However, you are the same nigga that got me a little teed off with your thoughts about Jordan. As if nobody is allowed to say anything about Michael Jordan. That is why I'm playing this clip and getting at your ass right now. Because I did not understand why you felt the need to say nobody can talk about Michael Jordan in that manner. As if he's some type of god to you. And now here you go, sidestepping and cha-cha sliding all over this one to protect your elites once again. Because you think someone said something that was unprofessional. Pretty much what you're trying to say without saying it, you're keeping it politically correct, as they say, quote unquote, right? You're keeping it politically correct, trying to say, you should just be quiet, Jaden. Shut up and dribble. Matt, shut up and dribble. When they said that to LeBron, and that was a whole big thing, shut up and dribble. That's what you basically saying to Jaden right now. Shut up and dribble. Because he has his beliefs. He has to shut the fuck up and dribble pretty much. He's not allowed to say anything. He's not allowed to have an opinion about the NBA celebrating Pride Month. He's not allowed to have an opinion about that shit. But you're allowed to have a fucking opinion about everything going on in LeBron's life. You allowed to have an opinion about everybody else fucking business. But he's not allowed to have an opinion upon the NBA selling NBA Pride. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, Steven.
And I think that Jaden Ivey, what he was doing on Instagram with a string of videos, he took into account what his personal beliefs are, okay? And that's to be respected by some, and it's not going to be respected by others. But where he really, really messed up is that clearly he was giving no thought to the Chicago Bulls as an organization, and dare I say the NBA. And as a result, now his NBA career may be in jeopardy. Why? Because you felt the need to go on Instagram to convey your personal thoughts for what? You just look at people sometimes and you want them to see, look at the big picture. You know, everybody's not going to vibe with you. Everybody's not going to agree with you, and that's fine. but be careful about disseminating messages, particularly when they're non-inclusionary, and it seems to alienate and ostracize a group of people, not measuring people by the content of their character, but instead labeling a group of people the way that he did. That's unfortunate. I'm not here to engage in condemnation. I don't want Jaden Ivey out of the league. I don't want him to ruin his career. I don't want anything like that for him. I swear I don't. And I'm hoping that he'll be back playing for somebody in the league. All I'm saying is that it's important that he sees, and everybody out there sees, the big picture. You play in the NBA, you play in the NFL, you play in Major League Baseball. This notion that you get to be your own individual brand and you have no one to answer to and you have no one to take into consideration, that is a lie. That is not true. Don't let these people out here that ain't got any damn jobs, that don't have people to answer to, that's hoping to have a shred of the success that you have, don't let them influence you and get in the way of your business. You could do a lot of things and live your life and be very, very productive, courtesy of playing in the NBA with the money that you have the potential to make. But there's a price that comes with that. And sometimes that means being quiet and not feeling compelled to let the world know where you stand on every single issue. He didn't need to do that. It was counterproductive. And the Bulls showed him that by letting him go. And I'm just hopeful that the NBA collectively doesn't follow suit and ostracize this guy. He's young. He made a mistake. I don't even know if he knows he made a mistake. But the point is, regardless of your beliefs or what have you, most people are going to say it's wrong. Some people are going to say it's right. In the end, be careful about what you disseminate because it lives forever and you're held accountable. And why? Because you wanted to vent for 15 minutes? Be smarter than that. There's a bigger picture to take into consideration.
Yeah.
And I don't think he did that here. And that's my issue.
The initial video is 42 minutes long, roughly around there. He's had some similar rants on social media in the last couple of weeks.
42 fucking minutes. Jesus Christ, he said a lot. But we looked at enough footage of that. Just my whole thing, like I said, with Stephen A. Smith even saying what he said and how a lot of people feel about this is my whole thing. He shouldn't be suspended for his beliefs. Or should I say, he shouldn't be let go off a team because of his beliefs. And somebody gets to get away with waving a gun, riding around in a car like it's nothing. He shouldn't be let go of a team and the other one just gets a slap on the wrist and a suspension for a couple of weeks. That's the part that just don't make no sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. But again, it does make sense because we understand how special treatment again works. If you put asses in the seats, you are allowed to do whatever the fuck you please. That is the end all be all of that. You are allowed to do whatever you please as long as you put asses in the seats. Speaking of asses in seats, Larry Johnson, former NFL player Larry Johnson. Now, a lot of people have been confusing this. I've been seeing AI slot pictures of Grandmama Larry Johnson. Why the fuck? I have no idea. Just some people don't know who Larry Johnson is, the former NFL player who was a bodyguard for Rockefeller Records. And also, I believe he got a modeling gig at one point through Rockefeller Records. So Larry Johnson did an interview not too long ago to where he had talked about the different things that he had seen and experienced in Hollywood. And he even told a story about when he was at a certain Jay-Z and Beyonce party. I would like to play that here too.
Welcome to Extra Fearless with Jason Whitlock. I'm Jason Whitlock, your host. I'm looking forward to this discussion. Jay-Z, the rapper,
As you can see, for some reason, when I go live, I just lose all control of my media player, so I'm able to fast forward shit. But I don't know why.
Mogul in a lot of hot water, in a lot of controversy. He's caught up in the Club Diddy scandal, accused of participating in the rape of a 13-year-old, I believe in 2000 or many years ago, but there's a civil lawsuit going on, and Jay-Z issued a statement.
So this is just to bring context of when this actual interview actually even came out. It's not too long ago.
Rebuking these allegations and talked about his honor and he's different, and how the lawyer, Tony Busby, who's representing the alleged victim, doesn't understand who Jay-Z is and just how honorable Jay-Z is, and how he spent his whole life protecting children while he was drug dealing and making satanic music. It was all about protecting children, and there's no way Jay-Z would be involved in this. And so who better to discuss this with on this show than Larry Johnson, the former NFL star running back, Penn State star, Kansas City Chief, Pro Bowler, all-pro running back. Now, just one of the most fascinating people on social media. For those of us that like to dabble in conspiracy theories, Larry is fascinating. I hate to even call it conspiracy theories, but Larry's just fascinating because Larry will talk about whatever is interesting and whatever the conversations you're not supposed to have. Those are the conversations that Larry promotes. And Larry used to wear Rockaware, used to be associated with Jay-Z and Rock Nation. Larry Johnson, welcome back to the show. Larry, I'll just start with a very, very simple question. Should we take seriously these allegations against Jay-Z?
I think we should take serious any allegation that's involving the abuse of children and teenagers. And since we kind of know what this industry is, we need to look a little bit deeper. Now, they roll this carpet out in front of us because they want us to know. But of course, they're all going to do their due diligence with the PR and say, well, I'm honorable, I'm this, I'm that. But you've seen the symbolism. You've seen him wear do what thou wilt across his sweatshirt. We know that comes from Aleister Crowley. We know Aleister Crowley wrote a book called Sex Magic, which he promotes drugging and abusing children for the sake of some type of occult magic or energy that they formulate or they desire to make themselves younger. And then to carry that.
Hold for 1 second. Hold for 1 second, Larry. Aleister Crowley wrote a book that promoted the drugging of, what's the name of the book again?
It's called Sex Magic, and it's magic with a K on the end of it. Because he wanted to differentiate from real magic to his type of magic.
All right, continue. I'm sorry. I did not know that.
Yeah, so the music industry adopts this doctrine, well, the do what thou wilt, the law of Thelema. So you would have to think that bringing a 13-year-old child into an after party of the MTV Awards, which is even strange enough because where is this young lady's parents? But we know that parents love to try to make their kids stars if they have the opportunity. So they'll let them go with certain celebrities. And so this has been pretty much the norm within these societies is to abuse and get after the children and to use and combine drug use with that. And we've seen it with Bill Cosby. We've seen it with other celebrities who are close-knit into that small circle.
Well, I think one person we've seen who's directly connected to Jay-Z is R. Kelly. They had an album, The Best of Both Worlds. To me, they were both established intentionally. R. Kelly at the top of the R&B industry and Jay-Z at the top of the hip-hop industry. You know, I don't think you get those positions by accident. I don't think it's based on talent alone.
I never think it's based on just talent. And of course, you know, he makes a lot of good music that made us tap our feet. And when 3 a.m. hits with the woman that we loved, it was the seal the deal type of music. But with that, of course, being that close together, being behind the scenes and seeing how these people really feed off of each other, they're not separate. He came out with a quote said that you can't judge us like you judging every rapper. But sir, you're close. You have albums with these people. You have after parties with these people. You have celebrity functions where you go on trips and vacations with these people. So to say that you know nothing, even if you weren't a part of it, you have to know a little bit of something. But since they take a vow of secrecy, we're not going to be able to even scratch the surface of even if they put them on the witness stand, because they all taken an oath.
Well, there are rumors that like Diddy is inside his prison cell, and every time he gets out, he snitches on someone new trying to get out from underneath. Do you think someone like Diddy could, instead of, you know, Jeffrey Epstein being killed or committing suicide, do you think Diddy is perhaps a source of information and maybe is snitching on people?
I think Diddy is the poor man's Ghislaine Maxwell. I think he's not going to snitch on anyone. I think he may allude to it, may be subliminal to it. But like I said before, these people take oaths, and this is being put in front of our faces just to mirror the Jeffrey Epstein, you know, scandal and foolishness. And nothing came out of that. No one snitched. We know the flight logs. We know the people who have gone. None of those people have ever been brought into the courtroom to say, hey, I knew him or I didn't know him. And this went on, this didn't go on. It just kind of went away. So especially with, you know, Negro America, they know we have a susceptibility to gossip and hip hop. So they use this as a distraction, knowing that nothing is going to come of it. It's just going to be running on and on and on. And then we get to the final show, and then they're going to say, oh, these people changed their stories, or there was always a loophole. I mean, look at the Jussie Smollett situation. We know he lied about this being jumped. We know he lied about the persons that he was with. They lied. So to have the court turn over and say, no, you know, you're good, you're free. You spent enough time doing this lie. I mean, come on. You have to assume it was going to go down the same exact way with Sean Combs.
Now, here's the trying to eat here. Here's the thing, right? You have to realize with Diddy, there's a difference between being an informant and snitching and giving out information. The information that Diddy has given out is enough to where one would have to think, okay, why does following this gentleman's incarceration do all these bodies start to drop around? You know what I mean? From political figures to regular people within the industry. I find it very interesting that certain people started having a fear for their life, as well as Angie Stone passing and Quincy Jones passing following this man's incarceration, to name a few.
So you think eventually nothing's going to happen to even Diddy or Sean Combs?
I mean, he may sit down for a little bit, but we don't know what happened to R. Kelly. Have we seen update photos of him in jail? Have we heard any stories of any inmate that has seen R. Kelly? Have you heard anything that came out of the jail cell he's in? And now that brothers got cell phones in jails, you trying to tell me nobody has said they seen R. Kelly? I don't know. But they're all in the same group. This is what they sacrifice or ritualize themselves for. This is what they do. This is a sense of worship for them. Why would they get punished for the way they worship or encouraged to worship? Like blackmailing is the number one thing to keep people in line. So why not continue to keep doing it? Why would I get punished to do it?
Larry, have you ever heard of the West Memphis 3?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so the West Memphis 3 was an occult-like killing of a young child, and HBO did 3 documentaries on it. And all 3 documentaries ended up accusing someone different of doing the crime. The West Memphis 3 went down for Damian Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miss Kelly. These are 3 teenage boys that murdered a really young child. And HBO created all of this reasonable doubt with these series of 3 different documentaries accusing someone else of doing it every time. And this is where I agree and slightly disagree with you. It's like, there is some type of an occult-like ritual, because I think the West Memphis 3 did it. Yeah. And I think they had to go through, the Damian Echols in particular, had to sit in prison, and then he gets sprung years later, and he becomes this celebrity, and Johnny Depp and all these people are waiting on him when he gets out out of prison. And I can remember I went down this rabbit hole and they had me convinced they were innocent. And then by the time I got to the bottom of the rabbit hole, I was like, oh my God, these guys did it. And and so that's what I almost think about Diddy and maybe even Jay-Z. It's like, you're gonna have to go through this imprisonment, humiliation, and then 10 years from now, 15, no different than the Central Park 5. You ever go down that rabbit hole? Those guys actually did it. They snitched on themselves. They did it with their parents sitting right there. They didn't rape the woman because they couldn't penetrate her, but they did do all the other stuff. But you do the time, 10, 15, 20 years, then they give you these $1 million settlements.
Which brings me to someone that I was talking to someone earlier. Shout out to this person. We're talking about earlier how they had mentioned to me that they're trying to resurrect the industry. And you can see it through little things like Jay-Z concert coming up, right? But it's happening ironically the same exact week that Kanye's concert is happening. So your only two big acts left you have to use. You can't sell tickets with Drake. You can sell tickets with Kendrick Lamar. But I think that's what's going to happen is that during the summertime, they're going to have a Kendrick Lamar album come out. Drake is going to drop around the same time. Kanye's concert is going to happen the same time as Jay-Z. It's a last attempt at resurrecting the industry because they want it to be a certain way for when Diddy gets released. Remember, we showed a couple of podcasts ago that Diddy is going to be released possibly next year. So the industry has to be in a certain hot plate position for Diddy when he comes back, so that it's a little bit easier to mesh him back in. But my whole thing is it's not going to be the same way this time with them trying to resurrect the industry because people are hip to everything that they are already doing. People are hip and have everything they do on a microscope. Kanye West, a Jay-Z, a Drake, a Diddy. We have these, Kendrick Lamar even. We have these people on a microscope now. It is not the same effect. You do not have the same brainwashing effects on the rest of us anymore.
Maybe that's what we're looking at as it relates to Diddy and Jay-Z.
And maybe, but Damian Eccles isn't part of the Hollywood elite. The Central Park guys aren't part of the Hollywood elite. These people are controlled. There's more money to be made through the gossip and entertainment than it would be with the West Memphis 3 or the Central Park boys. Like this was going on, Sean Combs. It's a moneymaker. Not only a moneymaker, but it's a good distraction if you want to drag this along into something else. Now we know what's coming up. We know the Super Bowl is coming up, where Jay-Z still has a hand in the halftime show performances, and we know that Kendrick Lamar is pretty much protest rap. So does this fall into that? See, we don't see the final ending. We only see, A and B right now. We don't know D, E, and F. We only see it from the beginning of it. So we really don't know what's going to happen. But we know that in the span of the next 4 or 5 months, it'll tell us what we need to know and how they're using Sean Combs to whatever money-making scheme they're making or distraction. We all know where it's going to come or go to based on how the NFL deals with Jay-Z and how the court system deals with Sean Combs.
Obviously, you'd be speculating. And do you think that these allegations against Jay-Z could interfere with his relationship with the NFL?
As somebody who has been in multiple hot seats with the NFL, with the domestic violence and issues and stuff, and how they treated me during that, I would think they would do something or say something or even have a statement. I would think so, because obviously, doing what you did or being accused of doing what you did to a 13-year-old child, a teenager, I mean, that's a little bit harsh. I mean, this is almost like domestic abuse. And this the first time the NFL has ever heard, I don't think it's ever heard, but when it comes to somebody getting raped or sexually assaulted, like that, The NFL doesn't play with that. We know it has happened across the league, all over the place, but we don't know. But it'll tell you exactly what to make of this situation if the NFL either comes down hard or they treat this very softly or just say, we'll wait to the end to see what happens.
Well, that brings us to a funny point right now of history, doesn't it? As you heard when this interview was actually released, this is right before the Super Bowl with Kendrick. And now we have had the Super Bowl with Kendrick as well as we've had the Super Bowl with Bad Bunny since then, right? Funny how time flies. Funny how time flies. Jay-Z's allegations about, the whole Epstein thing has come and gone. It's come and gone. Now, of course, the Kendrick Super Bowl was, I believe, way before that, way before the allegations with Jay-Z. But no, actually, no. The first time was that. Actually, yes, I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. The Epstein files was right before Bad Bunny. The rape allegations were right before Kendrick Lamar's performance as well. So, yeah. Both have been swept up under the rug by the NFL. Since then, both have been swept up under the rug. There's been nothing said as far as them not doing business with Jay-Z. So that just goes to show how high up in the ladder the man is.
I've heard this argument as it relates to Kanye West. There's a naivety to these black installed celebrities. That I've heard people make the argument that Kanye actually thought, hey, I'm a billionaire now. I get to call my own shots. I'm a boss. I don't have to obey my masters. And that's when he kind of spun off the rails and they did these things to like, nah, bro, you still got these puppet strings on. I don't care what your bank account says. I wonder if that naivety is what's impacting Jay-Z, that maybe he got full of himself, thought he was at the same table as the actual leaders, and maybe they're putting Jay-Z back in his place.
It could be. I mean, obviously, the statements that he came out with, I mean, he really puts himself on the pedestal, talking about honor, that he's not that guy, that he really cares about the children. And obviously, we've seen the music, we hear the music, we know the symbolism. So you have to be really high up on the pedestal with this godlike mentality as if you cannot be touched. I mean, you will meet your fate like everybody else in this world will meet their fate, and you will meet it going down broke, just like we can't take money out of this world, so we all go to the grave broke. And to have this mentality of being godlike, yes, I think this is a humbling experience. I know it's a humiliation experience. And no matter what he says, the symbolism contradicts what he actually truly believes. But those who are not hip to the game are usually fooled by the players on the court.
So Jay-Z, is he different than what Russell Simmons used to represent in the hip hop world? And Russell Simmons has been run out of the country and out of influence in America. He's basically out in exile. Is Jay-Z on the same level, different level than Russell Simmons?
Now, he's asking him these questions. I want to reiterate for those that are just tuning in. Larry Johnson has spent quite some time around Jay-Z back in the day, as he was a model for Rockefeller Records, as well as he was a bodyguard for Rockefeller Records. He spent some time around Jay-Z and his crew.
Same fate perhaps await Jay-Z.
I think so. And I don't even think it has to do with particularly this case. If you look at the way hip hop is going, it's going right into the gutter. Like we went through people who actually had a message and said a message. Now it went to materialism. Then it went to dope boy culture. Then it went to dance culture. Now it's just gone into ignorance culture of just saying anything you want and not necessarily being on beat when you say it. And I think if Jay-Z came out with an album right now, who would buy it? Like the kids aren't listening to a 60-year-old rap about yachts, being a billionaire, the woman that he has on his arm, jewelry. None of these kids are financially stable enough to even care about that type of music. They like the drill beat stuff. It's either make me dance, make me kill somebody, or make me shake my butt. That's it. And if Jay-Z just put out an album, I don't think anybody would buy it. I don't think anybody would pay attention to it. He's already on his way out. The only thing that's keeping him relevant is his woman and the fact that she's doing concerts. Like if Jay-Z booked the concert, who would show up? I mean, would he make money? I mean, we don't know. We just speculating, but we could tell by the way music is going, it's already moving away from that generation.
So you think we could be at the end of hip hop as this major cultural influence?
I think so. You already seeing hip hop already infiltrating the country genre. You've seen they're already about to turn country into pop, and next is coming after pop is rap. So you're gonna get more country rap stars than you get hip hop stars. And this is
what had happened was, what's going on?
This is no surprise. I mean, look what they did with the civil rights movement when they infiltrated the Dixiecrats. The people that really hated us and lynched us and hung us, we tried to infiltrate into that just to eat stale food from Woolworths. But this is what they do. They move us from one genre to the next for money, for prestige, and more control over the masses. That's pretty much it. But to go back to your question about comparing them to Russell, I would think they will almost be similarly the same. I mean, Russell likes young women. When Jay was going after B was a very young woman. Now, I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the wintertime of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there. And he rented this house, and we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to have been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults. There was a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old teenage Latin girl that was there, and I think she had to leave because she had school and she had to do homework. But she brought her mother with her, so it was no funny business going on, which I could respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking loud music and us dancing wild, like I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this, because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving children.
Larry, you've just blown my mind, and so I'm gonna have to ask you to. I just want to be clear on what I just heard. In 2006 or 7,
yeah,
you're in Colorado at a winter party with Jay-Z and the people with Rock Nation. And
it was the people who helped out with the photo shoot. It was a winter campaign that we shot. Mm-hmm.
And it's at some very nice mansion somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah, up in the mountains somewhere.
And Beyonce is sitting relatively close to you, and there's a child there.
Yes.
And this is after 11 o'clock at night. And she says, doesn't this look sexy?
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce, the singer.
I ain't gonna lie to you, yes.
And see, that's the thing. Just like it fucked him up then, it fucks everybody up now to hear that. Doesn't it? But because it's Beyonce and Jay-Z, these type of things get unnoticed. when someone like this says something like this, it gets very unnoticed. And that's why I had to bring up the fact that every time this video is pulled up on YouTube, you see AI slap pictures of the wrong motherfucker. It's this Larry Johnson. It is not Grandmama Larry Johnson. No one has an actual picture of him, but of course his podcast. Which even that, you don't really see his picture of his face. I don't know if that's protected or he wants to, keep it behind that. But at the same time, because Larry Johnson is very unknown and unnoticed, what he is saying gets swept up under the rug. Off the radar. Man just told you. He sat down at a party after doing a modeling gig and he saw Beyonce, children, all dressed up. Children all dressed up. Children all dressed up at an adult party. She goes, "Isn't this sexy?" The fuck you mean, isn't this sexy? What the fuck? What do you mean? That ain't got nothing to do with the liquor of me. I'm leaving because this shit done got weird. This shit done got weird. I don't need to be around this. And I'm pretty sure that was probably the last time he was around that. Little does he realize, the last time he gonna be around that. You wasn't supposed to see shit. And the way you acted after you saw shit, you got to go.
Yes.
And the reason why I believe you, I'm not gonna put a name to this. The reason why I believe you is like they get you out there and they float little test bubbles out there to see if you bite. Mm-hmm. It's like going fishing. Does the bob? Did I get a nibble? Did the bobber go down? Because I've been in that situation. I'm not gonna name names, but it was a prominent sports media figure that I had a social gathering at my apartment in downtown LA, Apex building. Probably 20 people inside my apartment, and someone tried to engage me in a conversation about, can't you understand why older men find 14 and 15-year-old women attractive? And I was like, no, I really can't. And then they followed back up, and I was like, and then I just walked away, and I made a mental note like, hey, this person is on some different shit, quite frankly. And I was like, and it shocked me because I wasn't expecting this from this person, and it's always stuck with me. And I would elaborate and give a few more details, but it would potentially give away the person if I gave any more details. But it was just like a test, and I can remember like, yeah, I just failed that test. And so whatever they got going on out here in LA, and they trying to figure out if they can get me in some kind of conversation about whether I was attracted to 14 and 15-year-old women, I just failed that test. So I don't think you're lying or exaggerating. I think that is real out there in Hollywood. It's part of the reason why I left Los Angeles. And Larry, to me, it's like you've watched The Godfather, Godfather 2 movies, Mafia movies. And what the music industry in Hollywood is much like the Mafia. It's like the Sopranos in terms of you can't become a made man until you've killed somebody in the Mafia. You gotta make your bones, and it sounds to me in Hollywood and in the music industry, if you want to make it to the top, you must be involved in some sort of sexual deviancy before and they must know about it before they fully trust you. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree, because we all know how shameful it is to be messing around with a child, no matter what the age. And they know that the majority of the people in this country or in this world do not sit by and will not let anybody abuse children. So that's more of a shame thing they can control you with. Now, sacrificing somebody, that's personal. You know, not many people can add those or connect those dots of who did what and who did this, but it happens. But when it comes to sexual deviancy, as you said, it's more of a, we don't want the whole world to know what you've really been up to, so you have to do what we say do. And I think that's how they move. And like you said, I think it's like putting a worm on a hook. They see who bite. They're not gonna come up to you and say, hey, you like 5-year-olds? They're not gonna do that because you look at them weird, or you might just punch them in the mouth. But they'll put you in situations where if young children are around, they'll move you into it. It may not be a 5-year-old, but it'll start at a 19-year-old at a party. It'll go from a 15-year-old at a party. Then you show up at somebody's private home and residence, and it's like a 9-year-old. And then they keep going to see how far you can go. And I don't want to imagine it, but I know they're going as far as they can go until they get into animals. And I know when it comes to sexual deviancy and it comes to lust, there is no backstop to that until you reach an animal. And that's where, if we talk about the days of Noah, that's exactly where sexual deviancy ends up. It ends up with animals.
So let's put proof to context here, right? Also, let's put proof in the pudding. This is the 2006 Rocawear photo shoot that this gentleman attended. Now, of course, you're not going to see a picture of him, but as you can see, Jay-Z and Beyonce. So that is truth to what Mr. Larry Johnson is saying. Now, let's see if we can find a picture of Mr. Larry. If we can't, we can't. But let's see if we can find a picture of Mr. Larry. Okay, so this is Larry back in the day. As you can see, he was everywhere with them. He kind of favors Sean Paul a little bit. Okay, so real quick, I do want to look at this video here. The tragic end of Jay-Z and Larry Johnson, real quick. I forgot I had looked at this little video here, but this is a more detailed little video of Mr. Larry.
During the early 2000s, Jay-Z brought a couple of athletes into his tight inner circle, one being former NFL running back Larry Johnson. They were thick as thieves. Whenever you saw Jay-Z, Larry wasn't too far behind. They were the real Bonnie and Clyde. Their friendship eventually evolved into a business partnership, but sadly, as their lives went in different directions, Jay-Z turned his back on his right-hand man.
Rock bottom is almost losing custody of your daughter, not coming home at night, don't know where you are. It was kind of let life drag me along, and hopefully somebody would put me out of my misery.
Before we go ape, be sure to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of beef and bacon jerky and 3-wheel motion popcorn.
I wish I could skip it, but I can't.
One thing about RRG, we're always going to give you a good backstory. And this one starts on November 19th, 1979, when Larry was born to Christine and Larry Sr. in Maryland. His dad was a well-known and well-liked high school football coach during the time Larry played youth football. Larry's goal on the field was to always make his dad proud. At the age of 9, he caught the ball on a kickoff return and made a beeline for the sideline. Out of nowhere, an opponent crashed into him, spinning his helmet sideways.
And it was like a white light, and that was it. I laid out on the field. They tried to get me to go back in the game. I said, I don't want to go back in the game.
Larry told the Washington Post that when he got up, he was dizzy and had no idea where he was. He spent the remainder of the game on the sideline with an intense headache. There were no protocols in place to make sure he was okay, and Larry wasn't worried about that. His dad was watching from the bleachers, and all Larry could think about was how he let his dad down. And people would think he was too soft. Larry told the Post, "I didn't know how to redeem myself." Looking back on the incident, Larry suspects that, although he wasn't formally diagnosed, that incident was the first of many concussions. He went harder than ever in his family's basement, studying NFL footage and looking for ways to prove his toughness. By the time he entered middle school, he took things a step further by researching his opponents to find out which ones came from broken homes. He would then taunt those players on the field to get into their heads and throw them off their game. He wasn't the best on the field. However, he had the desire to learn as much as he could about the game, which made him an asset to the team. Eventually, coaches noticed he was exhibiting behavioral issues. According to the Washington Post, whenever he was benched, he would blow up at his coaches, and if a teammate or an opponent challenged him, he'd hit them with a cheap shot. He received a scholarship to Penn State, where his dad was working as the school's assistant football coach. During his undergrad years, Larry found himself in the back seat of police cars, and it wasn't uncommon for him to be pulled into disciplinary meetings with the coaching staff. While he still had the desire to make his dad proud, his underlying desire to prove his toughness led him to get into altercations with both men and women. According to the Washington Post, Larry began experiencing symptoms of depression in college, but he didn't seek treatment. Instead, he numbed himself with alcohol, which took him deeper into a dark place. He was the 27th pick of the 2003 NFL Draft and joined the Kansas City Chiefs. That same year, he was charged with aggravated assault and misdemeanor battery after he was accused of brandishing a weapon during an argument with a former girlfriend. The charges were dropped after he completed a domestic violence diversion program. During the 2005 offseason, Larry grew more disappointed with his endorsement deal with Nike. He wanted to model for them, but they weren't featuring him in their ads. He also wasn't pleased that they only gave him a $1,000 spending limit at their stores. So he ended his endorsement contract and signed with Team Rock, which was the parent company of Jay-Z's Rockaware apparel line at the time. Larry was the first athlete to sign on with the company, and they immediately put him in their full-page ad in Men's Fitness magazine. More national ads followed, and Team Rock had plans to put Larry in music videos as well. He started spending more time with Jay-Z, and they were photographed in the heart of every city, partying at nightclubs and at red carpet events. Larry told a Kansas City newspaper that Jay-Z kept a small group of confidants that included him and LeBron James. Larry added, "It's a real tight group. It goes beyond me just wearing clothes. We've become friends now." Larry admired Jay-Z's business sense and decided his end goal was to be just like him by creating his own clothing and accessories line. Larry also had the desire to start a marketing business for musicians and sports.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but what does that sound like to you? Does that not sound a little bit Diddy Farnsworth Bentley-ish? Yeah, Rockefeller symbol in his haircut, like, got branded. Kid basically got branded in his head, like. And then him having the, the early signs of the CTE, and him, having his dysfunctions early on, he was kind of a perfect target for the industry, especially being a young NFL star, right? So I'm saying to myself, him getting close to Jay, it just keeps making me think about when Diddy slapped Jay on the ass. It makes me think about when Jazzo was like, he not with, you know what I'm saying? He would letting them fill him up. You know what I'm saying? He would let Jay-Z with them letting them fill him up, man. It's only but so high he can go in that ceiling. I do remember that. So again, it makes me wonder, was there something going on between Larry and Jay we don't know about? If you get what I'm getting at.
sports figures and possibly open a chain of jazz clubs across the U.S. By 2007, 27-year-old Larry had signed a 5-year extension with the Chiefs for an estimated $43.2 million. Despite the dough rolling in, some peculiar rumors emerged. An anonymous woman who worked at Trump Tower told Bossip website that Jay-Z and Larry not only co-owned one of the apartments in the building, but they also lived in it together as well. Allegedly. And get this, despite being in a long-term relationship with Beyoncé, the woman stated she had never seen Beyoncé in the building. The fact that Larry and Jay were both successful public figures at the time led many people to believe that the rumor was all cap. Why the hell would two millionaires need to shack up together and go half on a mortgage? But then, a sports writer out of Philly named Paul Domowitch confirmed the rumors in an article. According to another blog, Paul wrote, Johnson, who owns a home in New York with rapper Jay-Z, showed up in Kansas City Sunday for the first time since the team began its voluntary workouts. Welp. In 2007, Larry played Fantasia Barrino's love interest in the music video for her song, When I See You. Larry told a Kansas City news outlet that Jay-Z cussed him out after he filmed the music video. Wait, what? Larry confirmed that Jay-Z told him, the less things you do, the more people will have interest in you. The more things you do, you water down your value. On the flip side, Jay-Z gave Larry the okay to appear in his Rock Boys music video, though. After close to 10 years of dating, Beyoncé and Jay-Z became husband and wife in 2008. While Jay-Z was enjoying married life, Larry's life began to spiral out of control. Some nights he would fire weapons into strangers' lawns, or he would challenge people to fights just to prove his toughness. He had a me against everybody mentality. His aggression earned him a spot on football highlight reels, but it got to the point where he was unable to turn the aggression off when he left the field. The same year Beyoncé and Jay-Z got married, Larry was accused of pushing a woman's head at a night spot. Months later, he was accused of spitting his drink on a woman and threatening to take her boyfriend's life. In 2009, he was sentenced to 2 years probation after pleading guilty to 2 separate charges involving 2 women at Kansas City nightclubs. And that same year, he was banned from all Kansas City Chiefs activities for calling a Twitter user a gay slur and for making disparaging comments about the head coach. In 2009, the day he was due back from serving another suspension, the Chiefs released him from his contract. He joined with the Cincinnati Bengals before signing with the Washington Redskins in 2010 for a 3-year, $12 million contract. Unfortunately for Larry, he was released from the Redskins 6 months later. Sometime around 2010, he welcomed a daughter named Jalen. He told the Washington Post, "My greatest fear is my daughter falling in love with somebody who's me."
Okay, so I'm actually glad it kind of cut off there, but anyway. So Larry, I think, was one of the people with I think he was one of those people because BJ Investigates. We had played a video on the pod not too long ago where BJ Investigates was explaining. If you guys remember, there was a court case where they got dismissed. Jay-Z had been accused of doing experiments on people, and it was very MK Ultra like experiments. And it just makes me think about the whole CTE thing with Larry Johnson. Is there something else, behind that? You know what I mean? Is there something else behind what happened with him in the did they try to just like, how did they actually dismiss him? You know what I'm saying? How did they try to do like an MIB with the chew and it didn't work? Because he still has memories of things that actually happened, but he doesn't have too many. But we have to look at him still as like a Roger Bonds. And it's kind of crazy how Gene Deal has kind of gone quiet recently, except for a little incident that he had, supposedly a little run-in with Mace. I just seen he had like a run-in with Mace a couple of days ago. Emmerich put it out. It wasn't too nothing crazy. They didn't have like a fist fight and like that, but just a little tit for tat back and forth. But same thing they always has for years. But you have to look at him in a similar way of the bodyguard thing that, they have information back in the day of times that they actually hung around these people and saw things that they wasn't supposed to see. And that's one of those memories that he has of him sitting around Beyonce and seeing, those children. And it just so happens that he finally has gotten even asked these questions all these years. Imagine if someone actually sat down and asked him some real questions about what he's seen back there. I'm pretty sure he has more than just that story. I'm pretty sure he has more than just that one story. If you really was to sit down and ask him. How I know? Another video I got sent here. And this was kind of interesting. This post that he actually did recently regarding the GQ interview.
When no other brands. So let me start off by saying this. I do not have beef with this man or his wife. They have always treated me with respect and hospitality. He even supported me when no other brands at the time of my professional career would touch me. I have no regrets with my involvement with Rockaware, Team Rock, and the relationships I've formed. But those things had to die off because I choose a different path. He chose the darkness and Satan. I chose light in Yahuwah. So let's get into this interview, which I thought was hilarious. Right off bat, they told you exactly who he is. People are trying to break down why he had this Congolese mask and how it meant for the struggle or how it meant for the culture. They don't care about who they are as far as their identity. They're never going to tell you who they truly are or who we truly are. But they know, and they chose a side to be subjugated. He got his hands in the pyramid here. He got his hands in the pyramid here for the photo shoot. His thumbs in the pyramid here for the photo shoot. And of course, you see the Eye of Horus or the Eye of Ra, which is the one-eye symbolism that is all connected to Freemasonry or Prince Hall Freemasonry. As you can see here, it's all esoteric knowledge. They go from black and then they go from white in one 35-minute video. The interviews wearing a black hat with a white background. Then he wears a white hat and a black background, just like the floor in York Rite, Scottish Rite, and Prince Hall Freemason lodges is the checkerboard flag. So the very first part of the interview, he wanted to jump into what happened to him as being accused of raping a young woman. He didn't really go into it because the interviewer was selected for a particular reason and he wasn't going to give him any hard questions where he couldn't handle it. But all you have to see is what he's been propagating throughout his career. I mean, no one...
These are things we pointed out, is it not? Let me make sure my mic is on. I'm saying this. These are all things we pointed out. The duality and the Freemason symbolism that was in the interview. These are things we pointed out as well. There's other people that have broken down a lot of symbology, like the paintings that he was actually manipulating was similar to the witch, Mrs. Abramovich. I'm forgetting her first name now, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The witch that he has done business with, the new one, not the one that he had the tit for tat with during the Picasso video. I'm talking about the new one that he associates himself with now. So it's all this symbology all this symbolism, I should say, was not there for no reason. Of course, they do it the hiding in plain sight. But again, I point out the same thing. The do what thou wilt was even displayed in the interview where he was trying to say, I don't want you to say that word aloud anymore. Do what thou wilt.
Is out here really wearing do what thou wilt, which is a quote by Aleister Crowley. If you know anything about Aleister Crowley, he was a high-level Freemason who believed in sex magic. He meant drugging young children so they could achieve spiritual enlightenment. In theory and practice, in the Book of Magic, he even admits that in order to achieve this higher level of spirituality, that you go after a young white male or a young...
Who the man? What's going on?
Male child.
Yeah. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about this idea of like you said earlier, like the things that you do for the culture, the ways that you put on, the ways that you try to protect and move forward, but kind of the pushback that you get sometimes about like people throw capitalists at you in a derogatory sense.
Yeah, I think in that verse specifically, the only thing I heard coming up was the American dream until we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. Like, no, I make art first. And then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I didn't take no one. That's not my reputation. That's not what I do. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people or taking advantage of, you know, the loopholes in the system or some wrinkle in like a capitalist structure.
As I said, that's subjective.
This is where it gets a little iffy. And this is why I don't think there are true Prince Hall billionaires. He signed a 10-year, $150 million, 360 deal to Live Nation in 2008, then came back 2017 to sign another 10-year deal, a 360 deal with $200 million. These are the architects of this so-called 300.
Now, let's do the math on that, y'all. 2026. Think about that. Is that not the same exact shit that happened with Drake? Is it not the same thing we are seeing happen with Drake? Drake signed a $400 million deal. Drake signed a $400 million deal, y'all. $400 million with Universal. As soon as that contract was about to be up, this Kendrick beef comes up, and guess who's not at the same value anymore? That contract is up in another what? Year? That contract is up in another year. Guess who all of a sudden is doing a Live Nation concert this summer, huh? Guess who all of a sudden said, it's time to come back outside. I got a deal to finish, huh? Except you ain't the same value no more. So you trying to make sure your penny is still worth the same. It ain't, my brother. Your name has already been tarnished through these allegations. I see the chess move. I see the chess move. I see the big chess move now. I see the big chess move that got Jigga Man sweating out there. Okay, now it makes sense why somebody doing concerts in the summertime with Kanye. Now somebody wants to resurrect business and try to make somebody. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Somebody's time is short. Somebody's time is short, and they are running on borrowed time and money.
160 deal. It is structured, often leads to financial exploitation. So if he's a billionaire, then these men got to be trillionaires, because there's no way they would give that much freedom to any black artist to control their entertainment, control their license, control who they are, control the money they make from touring without any of these guys having their hands in it. The top guy is Hanson, is a manager of former rock bands. Everybody knows Leo Cohen, and these two Tennessee lawyers are the ones that put together the 360 deal. You think when they put this deal together, it was to give artists rights and control over their artwork? No, it's literally financial slavery. They need you Negroes to believe that they are billionaires, so you keep going into this industry and then getting exposed and then knowing that you have to.
Yes, because we went over that on the last part, I believe, too, with the GQ interview. Yeah, that's exactly it. He had to get Drake out the way. We had pointed that out. He kept on his little shots at Drake, and then we figured out that pound cake, not pound cake, but that verse, I think it was Love All, I think it's called. Never had a lot, this is all I need. That verse where Jay was talking to Drake, he was dismissed from he's being dismissed from the industry and devalued. So it would make sense that he needed Drake out the way so that he could be the head honcho right now. Because while Drake was still being the head honcho of music, Jay couldn't be the head honcho. Especially, should I say, he couldn't be at the same value if Drake is still hot. Like a Drake album is dropping the same week of a Jay-Z concert, it's not going to hit the same. But if Drake is at D value and Jay-Z does a concert, it's a little bit different.
Open up your rectum or your prostate in order to elevate into getting a billionaire status. They don't tell you the other side of these deals.
You can get as many degrees as you want, but it's just like trying to get all degrees you want, but you still got a ceiling. He can't go but so high because the people that he worshiping, that he kissing their ass and letting them fill him up and shit, they don't know shit. He's involved, but he's involved with this shit, man.
So the reason why they pick drug dealers is because if you can sell poison to your own people and destroy them, it ain't nothing for you to do it and say it over a beat. So basically used him. He was literally the least percentage of owning the Brooklyn Nets. But the reason why they put him up here with the owner, because they needed him to be an image to get people out of their housing. So you glossed over the fact that this is a black man in the corporate white world, really being an image and a representation of us, that you can make it out of the hood and you can clean up your past and you could be right up there with the big dogs. No, they were kicking people out of their homes in Brooklyn. Anybody who's attached to Masonry, it's the cult of Baal. They believe in sex worship and human sacrificing. So he quit rap or retired from rap a little short under 2005. His nephew, which he was close with, he was the one that was sacrificed. Then he came out of retirement, October 27th. And then he came out with Kingdom Come, and Khalik is featured on Lost Ones. He thought that he could live his art outside of control. And that's why they funneled him back in to Masonry.
When you say they, like, who is that?
Whatever the threat to, however the system is set up to keep things at status quo and keep us in a position of using words like allow. So anyone that's culpable in creating the system that we operate under, that's they.
Yeah.
That's they.
Everybody know who they is.
Right.
They can't do anything without allowance. That means York Rite, Scottish Rite allow them to put out a certain image. Jewish mysticism or the Talmud allows them to get away with certain rituals and rites because that's their form of passage to elevate themselves through degrees. It has to involve children. It has to involve sexuality. It has to involve blood sacrificing.
You said something just now, though, about you pushing independence, right? Kind of like in the spirit of Prince. When you embody that, do you feel like you are kind of setting a mold or leading a charge for like what the successful black man is allowed to do? And like breaking these spaces, breaking these confines?
Yeah. I even want you to take that out of your vocabulary.
Take what?
Allowed. You know what I'm saying? We're not allowed to do anything. You know, in order for someone to allow you, they have to have authority over you.
Can't go but so high because the people that he worshiping, that he kissing their ass and letting them fill him up and shit, they don't know shit.
At the end of the day, they're slipped in there to be gatekeepers for the black community. That is all. Regardless if he says that there's a problem with the alt-right or people going to Republican, he seems to forget that Trump pardoned a snitch that is on his team. So they flip-flop back and forth, and they don't think
Desiree Perez.
You guys can readily identify when they're lying or not because y'all so mesmerized by the artwork, which is why they put everything as visuals and music in front of you Negroes' faces because you can't readily discern if it's Masonry, Luciferianism, Satanism, or if it's righteous. And because you had ever seen any image of righteousness on the television, you are fooled by whatever image they give you.
So I was looking at chat, looking down at it. As I said, it comes up a little faster when I look at this way. So, he's trying to get back in power, but you're saying he's going to fail because Kendrick is trying to demolish Jay-Z, which, of course, we talked about before with Murals, the intro song on GNX. So now Jay-Z and Diddy's friendship makes sense. Doesn't have to pay Biggie's fam royalties because Puff stole them. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Being pointed out with the City Is Mine record. Let me hold it down, dog. Let me take those rings. And just like your story, the commission remains. Niggas cross the T's and dot the I's. Now that I got too popular to cop them pies, taking this rap shit serious. To my demise. Basics in the basements. Watching my dog. Oh, yeah. Asking my dog for advice and when he can't say shit. My hatred is fueled when... Yeah, my hatred is few. Just give me a sign. Now let the world know that the city is mine. I will never forget my uncle telling me, yo, this whole video is Jay-Z pretty much confessing that he is the what do you call it? Because he was supposed to be he's supposed to be like the guy that got away. He was portraying the guy that got away. I'm trying to remember the actual name of the person he was portraying in the City is Mine video. Kaiser Sosa. Thank you. Kaiser Sosa. He was pretty much being the Kaiser Sosa of things. The guy that got away and no one would suspect he got away with the murder. Right? That was the whole theme of the City is Mine video. And like I said, my uncle even pointing out the lyrics of the first verse, pretty much of him confessing that he had something to do with Biggie's murder, but no one would ever suspect that he had something to do with Biggie's murder. Kind of crazy, but yeah. So yeah, it makes plenty sense. Larry keeps his foot on Jay-Z's neck. It's going to protect the ex-lover. So that I was just thinking about the Dead Presidents video of how. Let me see. Should I put it here? Of even how the I'll just go to YouTube. Of how I think their relationship actually even started with Jay-Z and Diddy, and people just never paid attention to it. Wait for this ad to finish. People just never paid attention to it. It would be this right here, because the interesting story behind, now I'm not going to play the actual music, of course, but this little scene right here to where they're playing Monopoly with real money. And as you can see to the right of Jay-Z, but to our left is Biggie. Now, the story behind this would be Biggie was supposed to be doing a video shoot somewhere else, and he was actually late to it. He was late for something, and Diddy actually came in while they were doing this video shoot and interrupted it and pretty much pulled Biggie out of the whole thing. And that's when Jay-Z had noticed how much power that, Puff had over Big, as far as someone telling him what to do, versus how he was, as you can see with Dame Dash, they pretty much just doing whatever they wanted. But this is, again, just goes to show you at the level that Jay-Z was already at versus where Biggie was. The only difference between Jay-Z and Biggie at the time was that Jay-Z was unknown and Biggie was all in the videos. Biggie was already on MTV and things of that nature. He was already doing the interviews. Jay-Z was just the brand new guy, the brand new kid on the block. So, of course, that jealousy would still be there when someone wants to, of course, take that King of New York ownership away from somebody. But yeah, very interesting story about Larry Johnson there. I guess while we're still on, sports and hip hop. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type. While we are still on the topic of hip hop and sports, I guess. So I was gonna get rid of that. Whatchamacallit? J. Cole. Wanted to listen to real quick J. Cole, his take on, what should I say, his because he's pretty much saving face in this little clip here, to where he's talking about the relationship with Jay-Z.
When I write a verse, I might write a verse, and I might not know what this song is about till I get to the 5th bar,
okay,
or the 8th bar. You know what I mean? I might not even know where this song is going, but I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the words, that if I get these words out and just keep following the words, the song will take shape. Then by the 8th bar, I'm like, oh, this is a story about such and such. Or, oh, like Love Yours, the song Love Yours.
Love that.
I didn't know what that song was going to be about when I start, right? I just wrote it exactly how you hear it. And at a certain point, I was like, oh, I see what I'm saying. I see what the message that's trying to be delivered. So you make enough songs. Now it's like, oh, I see the shape that this is taking. This is a story. of like me going back home at the height of my career. You know what I mean? And like all of these things that I deal with when that happened at this time in my life when I was at a crossroads. The album is like the first disc 29 is like me at a time before I got married, when I was like at a crossroads in my life with three things. One, my girlfriend at the time, now wife, who had been my girl for a very long time at that point. Two, this craft that I've been, my other love. It's like three loves of my life that both discs are about. But at 29, I'm at a crossroad with the love of my life, the woman, the love of my life, the craft that I've been doing since I was 12 years old, you know what I mean? And then three, the love of my life, the city that raised me, birthed me, not birthed me because I was born in Germany, but raised me since I was 1 year old, like helped me adjust and adapt to the world, taught me, you know what I mean? Scolded me, like all of these things. And you know, everybody know like my songs is like from the come up, I'm putting on for the city you never heard about in Carolina that you never heard about. Everybody know I had nothing but a love relationship. But on disc 29, at 29 years old, you find me at a time where even the city that I love, I'm looking at different. I'm not appreciating any of those three things, those three loves on the first disc, the way that I have previously in my life and the way that I do on disc 39. You find me on 29 at a crossroads with all of those. It could have went bad with all of those. I could have made a bad mistake with that one, you know what I mean? Everybody know that one that you know, the one that's supposed to be your wife. So many people got stories of that, but sometimes she don't become your wife. Sometimes you trick it off and you fuck it up. You know what I mean? So like, I was at a crossroads with that. I was at a crossroads with this craft. I told you, I was like, I could retire right now. I'm kind of over this J. Cole shit anyways. Tired of rapping about myself. Like, that's how I was feeling at the time. I'm tired of this box that I feel like I got to go outside and like, or even in my rhymes, I got to be boom, boom. And then the third was the city. Like, damn, I'm tired of coming back to this motherfucker. Somebody always got something to say. You know what I mean? Like, niggas hating, boom, boom, boom. I'm feeling like the weight and the burden of like survivor's guilt or whatever they, you know, whatever they call it. So
yeah, that's right.
I'm rambling, but that was but I didn't know. That wasn't my intention when I sat down to make the album.
Gotcha.
That's what I realized as these songs was coming out. That's what I realized I was saying.
Gotcha. It's impossible to ramble on this show.
I was saying you're not rambling. You weren't rambling at all. You're not rambling at all.
There's a couple songs I want to ask you about off the album and specific lyrics also. Like on the Fall Off is Inevitable. You're talking about the so-called, you were signed by the so-called kings or the so-called goats or whatever.
Yes.
Not saying that was a shot at Jay or whatever, but a lot of eyebrows were raised.
Of course,
I was like,
it absolutely wasn't.
What was that about?
You know what's crazy is when the song dropped and people started saying what they saying, it was the first time I was like, oh shit. I ain't mean it like that, but I didn't even realize they would take it like that. But I'm like, oh, I see what they saying. But like, if you read it like that, if you read it a certain way, it's like, oh shit, why you say it like that? But it was not the intention. In my mind, it was just like, yo, so-called king. Like they do call, nigga, I call him a king. You know what I mean? Like so-called, and I feel like there was a Biggie line in my mind that it's like, since then I'm like, nigga, that line don't exist. Like there's a Biggie line that I thought I was referencing where it's like, yo, I don't think you was really referencing that. You know what I mean? But not.
If you're not listening, yeah, Scared Straight is right. Scared Straight is right. Because this nigga is lying. This nigga is lying. He got pressed about this goddamn. You see how he pulling his hoodie? You see the body language, how he pulling his hoodie and shit. This nigga is lying, trying to save face. Nigga, you know what you said. So you got signed by the so-called king. You know exactly what the fuck you said. And you didn't think you was gonna get asked in this goddamn interview about this shit. You got caught off guard with it. But yeah, you meant every bit of what you said. Continue.
It wasn't until they said that I was like, oh shit, that can't be taken a certain type of way.
Especially because, you know what I mean, you're unabashed Nas fan. Let Nas Down is a big record, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm also an unabashed Jay-Z the same way. It's like literally, I say, now signing my hero, one of the, like people hear that like I'm throwing a shot when really I'm saying a line like this. Now signing my hero, one of the so-called kings of this rap thing that I swear to usurp. That's the line where it's like I'm a young, just like Kobe trying to take MJ spot or something, or like trying to go at MJ. That's the line that you could talk about and say something about that I swear to usurp. It's like, of course, it's just me being a kid at that time in a rhyme. I'm putting you in the shoes of me as a teenager or whatever, that's me saying like, yo, one day I'm gonna get there. One day I'm gonna surpass you. And not just him, I was looking at everybody like that. You know what I mean? Like, so, but that line, particular, that phrase, so-called, I didn't mean it no type of way. But when people said it, I'm like, I see what y'all saying. But that was not the intention.
Well,
I feel you.
Have y'all spoken since? Like y'all still have a decent
we ain't
relationship?
spoke since then, but that wouldn't be the reason why we not speaking. You know what I mean? I doubt he would feel a way about that.
I was about to ask if you got tickets to the Yankee show because it's crazy, right?
You know, I'm hot because I'm actually hot because it's on the first day of my tour.
Yeah,
both shows.
See, that's how you got beef, son.
Bro, I'm sad. Like I'm gonna go to the Roots joint because like I can't miss that. You know what I mean? But I'm sad. Those is my two favorite J albums.
That's a fact.
Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint. Of course, he got many fire albums, but them two specifically, I'm like, I'm hurt.
You've had proximity to some of the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? A lot of the concept of the fall off is seeing their trajectories and all that type of stuff. But what did being around that level of greatness, especially during your feature run, when you was just going around, just hopping on people's songs, all that type of stuff, what did being around different types of skill level and greatness sort of shape and teach you about your own craft and making this album?
I missed the first part of the question.
So the first part I want to say is, earlier in the show, I said the fall off, you talked about, this is how people get complacent. This is how folks, feel like they're off. But you've had proximity to greatness. You mentioned Jay, we mentioned Nas. Damn, big three, obviously, Ye, everybody. Anybody who's been anybody, you've been around. And then there was a period before the fall off where you were just hopping on records, doing feature burgers, new dudes, old dudes, whoever. How did that process altogether of collaboration sort of shape your last project?
I think the feature run out of all of that, because even the proximity you're talking about, it's like I don't have a creative proximity with those greats that you're talking about.
Right.
I just have a fan proximity. I'm just a fan that got to get close at times. You know what I mean? But it's like if I never would have met Jay or Nas, they still would have fed. If my proximity was only that of a fan, they still would have fed my skill and my hunger, you know what I mean? And like they would be the reason why I am where I am, or I got to wherever I got. Even if I didn't sign to Jay, he would be the reason why I made it to where I made it, because he gave me so much without knowing he gave me so much in terms of, first of all, ambition. Jay fed a lot of our ambition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Showing us what's possible, showing us like, he just embodied like you can do it, I did it,
an
mentality.
example. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But beyond,
Okay, I don't want to hear him swallow Jay-Z the whole damn time. He also did talk about the Drake beef, but at a different time. Oh, okay. It's a better clip of it right here, actually. I don't have to dig through the interview to actually find it. I wanted to get the exact point.
Before it took that turn. Let's remember that.
Right.
Like,
and there's also the conspiracies or the theories that, like, people gave you the heads. I don't know how true it is, but like,
it's not true. It's a straight lies. Like, I wish we could do a whole season of 7 p.m. in Brooklyn and just go debunk every J. Cole every lie that was every lie. I'm so glad you said that.
There was the rumor that Drake was supposed to be at Dreamville Fest,
that actually is true. He was supposed to be at Dreamville Fest.
Okay.
That was planned. He was coming. He didn't come.
Okay.
Thank God he didn't come. No disrespect to Drake. I love Drake, but like, had he come, I would have felt more pressure to be on stage representing that energy.
Yeah.
Way before Kendrick's song dropped, he was supposed to come.
Which is kind of crazy that he was supposed to be at Dreamfest the night that he did the apology. That's kind of crazy that he was supposed to perform the record with Drake at that Dreamfest, but he ended up doing the apology because the beef happened. That is amazing timing in the universe. But not only amazing timing in the universe, that's amazing timing by the industry, because they knew damn well that there was a Dreamfest coming up. And I'm pretty sure enough people knew that Drake would be at that Dreamfest. On top of, this was the week of he dropped Might Delete This Later. J. Cole drop might delete this later with the Kendrick Lamar diss. Now, the Kendrick Lamar diss was taken off of Spotify and all that other shit, but the record still exists. You can still YouTube and find it. You can still find the Kendrick Lamar diss that J. Cole did. It's it's not brutal and scathing. It's just a nigga, you was my homie. Why you dissing me type shit. Don't make me get out. Don't make me come outside too type shit. That's all J. Cole really did on that. He talked about his albums being flops and whatnot, which they weren't really flops. But needless to say, I get, but I don't get him saying he felt the pressure to do a record with Drake. He would have felt the pressure to do something with Drake, other than the fact that he already knew ahead of time he was not going to want to do this beef. Because this is, again, someone saying this after the fact, post the fact that all the beef has happened. He's saying, yeah, I'm glad Drake can come out there. I would have been, pressured to do all that shit. When at the time, yeah, you were feeling very apologetic because the beef happened. But if it didn't get as intense as it did, would you have still allowed Drake to come out there? For example, if it was just the weekend of Drake putting out, what was that first record? Push-Ups. When he put out Push-Ups, would he have still done something with Drake? Because by then it wasn't necessarily in people's hot seats. It was on people's radars that, like that, and Push-Ups was responsive to each other. But it wasn't until, I believe, the Dr. Dre type beat that Drake did, to where he was really like, listen, I am tired of waiting. Bring your ass out. It was around that time that Dreamfest happened. And J. Cole got cold feet and said, all right, this is getting a little too crazy for me.
I was trying to get Kendrick to come too. Like, that was my plan for Dreamville Fest that year. Mind you, I never got a chance to it's crazy because around the time I was going to hit.
Imagine that would have been, right? Now, the crazy thing is, as much as we love the beef that happened with Drake and Kendrick, and we love the exposing that happened with Drake, or should I say we love the information that we learned about Drake and the exposing that happened. And unfortunately, we learned about Kendrick not necessarily being Kendrick anymore and him just being an industry clone now that was used to take down Drake. Imagine what that would have actually been had that beef never happened. We probably would have got one of the greatest moments in hip hop on a stage with Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. Imagine if that beef never happened. That is what J. Cole is saying right now. If that beef never happened, we would have got Drake, Cole, and Kendrick on the same stage in one night at Dreamfest.
Kendrick, like, yo, you want to come through and make this moment? Boom, boom, boom. I told Drake. Drake knew that it was something I wanted to happen when we was on tour. I'm like, yo, it'd be crazy if both of y'all came out at Dreamville Fest. Boom, boom. It's silly now to say, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, nigga. there were other plans in the works.
Right.
But so,
because y'all all supposed to be on first person shooter together, right?
No,
it would have been a brawl backstage.
Was
not that we
that's
were all
another
supposed to? No. So it's. I hate that with so many lies. You're actually saying.
You here? I gotta ask.
With so many lies, you're actually saying things that are like half truth.
That's a good insight there, Night. I do believe off of this interview, because Kendrick is slick like that. I do believe off of this put me down on record saying, I do believe there's going to be a Kendrick freestyle or feature somewhere on a Baby Keem record. Kendrick is going to mention this. He is going to mention something that Cole said in a bar. I guarantee you, he is going to remember this interview and reference something with his kumbaya ass. I guarantee you Kendrick is going to say, nigga, I didn't want to come to that bullshit no way. I guarantee you Kendrick is going to say some slick shit like that. I ain't got no fucking dreaming.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, Drake's supposed to be coming to Dreamville Fest. Yes, half truth.
Okay.
He was always going to be coming to Dreamville Fest from when we was on tour together.
Right.
He had always like agreed to do that.
Yeah.
It was only this situation that made him like, and he actually told me, he was like, and I appreciate him for doing this. He's like, yo, bro. It was after he didn't show up, but he was like, yo, bro, I didn't want to put you in this situation. Cause he could tell when me and him talked, he could tell my heart wasn't maybe equivalent to his. So he was like, yo, I didn't want to come down there and put you in a situation on that stage and say some shit that you would have to stand behind. You know what I mean? Ultimately, that's why he told me he ain't show up. So, and I'm like, thank you. Thank God that you didn't, because it left the space for me to receive what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? But that's one thing you said that was like a half truth. You just said another half truth, which was, what was the other half?
This was all being on first person shooter together.
Oh, so I'm not gonna say we were all supposed to be. How it came to me was, before that beat ever made it to me, I think Kendrick wanted that. I mean, I think Drake wanted that to be a him and Dot song.
Okay.
Like I think that's what it was. And I think my interpretation is like, maybe when it wasn't moving fast enough or he wasn't getting the response he wanted, maybe he was like, let me hit Cole. Cause I think Boy Wonder was pushing like, bro, you need to hit Cole, boom, boom. Mind you. So I never looked at that song like it was gonna be all of us. I thought it was me and Drake, and I just had the beat.
Okay.
There was nothing on it. I just had, and I felt mad pressure because I wanted to come through for him. You know what I mean? I felt like he showed up at Dreamville Fest the year before that. You know what I mean? I wanted to come through for him. I had to write that verse several times. You know what I mean? So that's a half truth kind of.
Okay.
But there's no part of us making that song where it's like, yo, Kendrick was supposed to be on here. Nah, I just got a beat for Drake. I want to come through for him on his album. The clock was running, you know what I mean? And winding down, boom, and I came through. But you said something in the beginning. Damn, I want to remember.
There was somebody, I think it was Schoolboy Q.
You said something about
Getting a heads
no,
up.
Schoolboy Q, that's a complete lie.
Okay.
Ask Schoolboy Q. That's just like internet, like, yo, that's a straight lie. And there's many of those. Many half-truths and many way more straight lies. Like the Schoolboy Q shit is a straight lie. Like, of course, shout out to Schoolboy Q. He not gonna come out and just say it on his own, but it's like when you get a chance, ask him. It's a straight up lie. But you said something in the beginning how like on songs, like how I say I'm the best on songs. It's like, ask me in real life, do I think I'm the best rapper alive?
Do you think you're the best rapper alive?
Bro, it's a nigga named Black Thought that exists. It's a nigga named Lupe Fiasco that exists. It's niggas that on any given day, even my peers, a Drake or a Kendrick, where it's like, yo, I know on any given day I can show up to the studio and give these niggas 80. But I know they can show up on any day in the studio and give me 80. And I might only have 30. Like, so if I'm taking on a rap,
nigga, humble as hell. This ain't the same J. Cole that told y'all he the best rapper alive on any given day. I was expecting him to say that, not, oh, but there's a Black Thought that exists. Nigga, where is your rapper heart? It has been taken from this beef. It has been
persona,
taken.
like when I'm rapping, of course, that's what I like to. That's how I like to rap. And guess what? Sometimes I hit the mark. And I say shit, and I spit a verse that really might have you believe in that shit. But if you ask me in real life, do I walk around like I'm the best rapper alive? No, nigga. Like I'm the best ever? No. But when I put on that motherfucking cape, like that's how I try to attack shit. And have there been things and moments and verses where I'm writing this shit and I'm like, I know niggas not fucking with this. Absolutely. But
the real answer to that question, and I know every hip hop head would agree with this, when you are asked that question, you are supposed to say yes, because every rapper believes they are the best. That is the answer.
In reality, do I walk around this earth like there's no nigga better than me? In real life, like I can't get in the studio with Black Thought and he just give me 90.
And with that, I have to dismiss you, Cole. With that, I have to dismiss you because it disappoints me with you saying this. And this is why I gave the album a skim through and not a full thorough fan listen, because it is always hard to listen to you. It's hard to listen to you, especially recently after your apology that you did to Hippa. And then the only time I got, the flame got rekindled was Port Antonio with your Diss J. And now here you are saving face. Dare I say saving ass too, I guess. But you're saving face from Jay-Z and you don't want to say anything disrespectful, as well as you don't want to say anything disrespectful about a Kendrick and Drake. I get it. You want to be politically correct, Cole. I get it. But since you say you might delete this later, just delete the shit now. Just delete the shit. Just delete it. Because you was the most arrogant nigga alive when you did might delete this later. The bars that we heard on that was the Cole that we was waiting to hear for a long time. And the Cole we was hoping to hear in the fall off. But we did not hear that Cole. I don't know who this nigga is anymore. I don't. I know this is a very scared nigga as far as what he has probably seen in the industry to make him say, you know what? This nigga pulled a Shia LaBeouf, if you haven't noticed. He pulled a Shia LaBeouf. He pretty much just said, no, I don't want to be around Hollywood. I don't want to be around Hollywood. I'll make my records and whatnot. I'll do my shit for the label and I'll do my last album for the label and all this other shit. I'm gone. I don't want to be a part of this shit no more like that. You hear how I'm saying he's having the early retirement vibes. Like he didn't want to do this shit no more at all. He's done. Cole is done. If y'all ain't realized, the fall off is probably Cole's last attempt to send his ass in the booth for at least another 10 years, possibly. We probably ain't gonna hear from Cole till he about 45, 50. It's gonna be a while before we hear another Cole album. He's pretty much telling you that now. With that being said, the nigga rapper heart and soul has been ripped apart. It's been ripped out of him. It's been ripped out. It's gone. So all you Cole fans and stands out there, I'm sorry to tell y'all, your superhero is doing his last fly around the earth with these interviews right now. That's all that is happening right now. And that's the only reason he's even notice how when the fucking album come out, it wasn't nothing but talks about, oh, he's giving away the album in the hood and he back around North Carolina. Ain't nobody said shit about a single fucking record on that album. Except for the Jay-Z disc. That is it. We ain't heard a goddamn record from this album yet. That was did you hear this from the fall off? I ain't heard of put that Cole. I ain't heard none of that shit yet. That mean that album was, I'm not gonna say Basura, but it wasn't it. It wasn't. It was for home. That's why I said it was. It was for home. It was for him. It was therapeutic for him and only him in his hometown. That's all it was for. It was not an industry made album. It was not for the industry. It was not to sell records. That's another thing that's very telling with him just wanting to be done and just accepting the fall off. Nigga ain't put a single out at all. Not a goddamn record was that. I ain't see the video. I ain't see the Cole music video or nothing for this damn album. Talking about something he about to go into. I ain't seen nothing. I seen a trailer and that's it. And the album came out and him just walking around doing episodes and vlogs of him going around North Carolina driving the Honda and breaking down and shit. I ain't seen a goddamn video, a big time 15 million view YouTube video yet from him since this album came out. This is over. It's over. It's over. And even if there has been a video he's dropped, like I said, it hasn't been no big single that's pun on words, wave. It hasn't been no big wave of J. Cole that has it. Other than this interview. Other than this interview right here, it's probably the most you niggas done talked about J. Cole in a minute. Ain't nobody really talking about it. So what do you think about this song now? Only time they asked about this thing on this album was this goddamn Jay-Z disc. Everything else was, nigga, what's going on in your life? What's going? You okay? But that's my take on the whole J. Cole thing that's going around right now. It like I said, it's just pretty funny to see Cole saving face the way he is right now with the whole Jay-Z thing. It is just hysterical to see. It is really hysterical to see. I might as well get into something else that was pretty funny to see real quick before I get into neutralized him. Exactly that, neutralized him. Neutered him and neutralized him. Told that dog to stop barking. You quit hollering now. We put you down. You quit. You stop your hollering now. You right now. God damn it. Oh, they overly blessed me. Overly blessed me, my ass. You was mad as hell. Do not tell that lie, J. Cole. You was mad as hell with them damn masses. Because the only reason you even wanted your masters is because what they was trying to pay you originally for to take them shits. That's the only reason you even said something about the masters in the first place. So don't tell this bullshit fib about you was overly blessed when you got your masters, nigga. I don't want to hear that as far as what you went to do to pay to get them goddamn masters and pay for them royalties. It wasn't like Jay-Z just gave them shits to you. It wasn't like, hey, nigga, just have them. Nigga, you had to fight tooth and nail with lawyers. You was crying on the internet about goddamn Rock Nation. I don't want to hear nothing about they overly bless you. My ass. I remember you crying about you trying to get released from Rock Nation. I remember. Tell me this bullshit lie about they overly bless you. My ass. Now you want to sit up here and suck JD. Man. Go ahead with that shit now, Cole. Go ahead with that. Go ahead with that shit. And speaking of, I don't want to repeat what I just said with doing favors for people. But speaking of doing favors for people, speaking of doing favors for people, this was pretty damn funny too. Cause I can't now. Hopefully they don't cut me off because of this access. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a picture of the nigga up while I play this. I ain't trying to get in trouble. So, cause this fool is in the news now for what he done said. I'll put this picture up here. This is perfect. It's a perfect goddamn picture for what I need to say about this bullshit here. Listen to this shit. Listen to this.
I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen.
Usher is getting candid about his views on Sean Diddy Combs. During an interview with Forbes' The Enterprise Zone, he used the word legacy to describe the hip-hop mogul. The singer went on to reflect on his own career path as host Jabari Young asked him about avoiding the kind of negativity that's been associated with Combs today.
I knew better. Maybe it was those valuable lessons in integrity in Tennessee, and furthermore, I knew what the hell I wanted. I didn't want to go to New York for the experience. I wanted a career.
Just so you can see, I got it.
I got into a lot of stuff, but I chose a different road. I had a plan. I had a focus, right? I wanted to get it done, and you avoided a lot of the negativity that we obviously know shows up in his story today. Young kids, how do you talk to them about avoiding that negative like you did because you had your path?
I mean, this might be a bit controversial, but in the same way, I think many people choose to look past the reality of what our country is, the standards that we now stand on. We can't ignore the reality of the history, but in many ways, I think certain people are prosecuted, and maybe not.
The nerve of you saying that. We can't ignore certain histories. Go ahead.
Recognized for the greatness, that they offer. I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen.
Did this nigga ask him a single question about Sean Combs? Now, maybe they fast forwarded to this particular question right beforehand. But I ain't hear the question there ask him anything about no goddamn Sean Combs. This sound like you just volunteering what you wanted to say or how you felt about Sean Combs as an early campaign before the nigga get out. Ain't nobody asked you about no goddamn Diddy.
He's been, misrepresented. I'm not saying that every man is perfect. I'm not saying that all of us don't have flaws. But I can't, with any sense of humanity, not recognize the valuable contributions that this man made.
As the Yes singer continued,
Nigga, first of all, again, ain't nobody asked you shit about him. Second of all, we heard what your mama said. We all know what your mama went through in that hospital. And all because you decided to spend a Justin Bieber 48 hours like weekend with this motherfucker. That you talking about something, I wasn't around for him doing all that stuff. Like, bullshit. We ain't got to keep playing the video of Kevin Hart with the dildo on the bed and you walking in the room with a bunch of niggas. We ain't got to keep talking about that. Listen, enough with the bullshit, Usher. Enough with the bullshit. We know. You can't keep hiding this shit no more. Brandy done came out now. You heard Brandy done came out now. I'm gonna let this finish real quick. But Brandy done came out now. Said enough is enough.
He explained his perspective on the entrepreneur's influence.
For us as Black entrepreneurs, for us as businessmen, for us as people who transition, culture and ideas into something that's tangible and becomes business, so many people benefited from what he created. And I acknowledge that.
Nigga, who has benefited that is still allowed to tell about it? Answer me that. Riddle me that fucking question, Usher. Who is alive to tell you that they have reaped the benefits that Puff Daddy has sold for them? Who? Tell me who. Tell me who.
And that's why I see him as legacy.
Usher went on to call Combs a mentor, comparing him to a hard teacher.
That is a rough choice of words, ain't it? A hard teacher.
Also discussed why he, quote, puts respect on his name, as he explained what he learned from him doing business.
Puff was a mentor, but he was like you have that really, really hard teacher, but you're watching something in real time. I think that the idea of the level of discipline that came with that time in business, especially in an era that was trying to prove itself culturally in hip.
I'm sorry, I can't get over that one hard teacher. He's a hard teacher that weekend, right? Wasn't he? Gene said they had to do surgery on your asshole. He's a hard teacher, all right, wasn't he?
Pop. Now, you can't turn on the television and not see the influence of hip hop.
That's right.
But the people who actually made that appropriate and are the forefathers are people like Sean Combs. And not just in the great times that they had musically, but in the idea of being able to find ways to monetize culture and create something that was not just Black or white. It was colorless. It was green. That's who I see that man as. And that's what I choose to remember. I put respect on his name because I realized that what I learned as a businessman before I even understood what business was came as a result of seeing the incredible things that he was able to do and the way that he positioned himself as a businessman. There are trials and tribulations that come with the pressures of success and power. But what we choose to do with it is what I hope that you see with me and hopefully all the people that I'm involved with, right? Big Sean Wilson, the Boys and Girls Club. They're doing things that I think are positive with the power and access that they have.
All right. Obviously, somebody is campaigning for when he come home. So, yeah, Usher, you full of shit. I'm just gonna keep it at that. You full of shit, and I completely understand why Justin hemmed your ass up at that party. I completely understand why he said, "Nigga, why, why." I completely understand. Justin was about to knock you the fuck out at that party. He said, "Nigga, why?" Why? He allowed to say that. He would be allowed to say nigga why in that context. Nigga why? Why did you let it happen? Oh my God. Listen, that was just too damn funny. Him just, I have too much respect for him to disrespect his legacy as a man. He's done too much for the business. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that. We know what he did to you. That's what the question was. Nigga, what was your time like with him? You, goddammit, beat around the bush. He beat around your bush enough that we know now you campaigning for this nigga. Like I said, Gene Dale talked about the hospital records and your mama having to take you to the hospital after visiting this motherfucker. Listen, as Ray J said, asses were being taken. People were being taken advantage of. And this was a nigga that was being taken advantage of. And he just scared to say something. Understandably, bodies are dropping while he's in jail. He doesn't want to be those bodies that drop. I understand that. He probably got a lot more singing to do, a lot more legacy touring to do. He don't need none of that. So I understand why Usher is saying what he's saying, but nigga, knock it off. Knock it off. He knocked it off. Knock it off. God damn it. Knock it off. Now I wonder where the damn chorus for yeah. I wonder where that came from anyway. And, let me get off the subject. But that's funny as hell. That damn interview was funny as hell. I said he got the nerve to be campaigning for this nigga. He got the nerve to be campaigning for this nigga. They said we saw the video. Among other things, we saw the video. Dildo on the bed. Kevin Hart. Did he talking about something to excuse that's on the bed? Nigga, why you make us notice it? Why are there a bunch of niggas at the entrance of the room? Why are y'all in the bedroom? Why is there a dildo on the bed? There's a bunch of niggas in the entryway. Why does Kevin Hart look like he's sweating bullets in fear for his life, like something about to happen to him before he go back downstairs? Why is Usher walking in the room with Trey Songz? Why there's a bunch of niggas at the entranceway of this bedroom? What is about to happen that these cameras now got to turn off? And there's a bunch of niggas in the room. Ain't no women in there. There's a bunch of men in this room. Door about to close and camera going off. What is about to happen? Same question is how many licks it take to get to a Tootsie Pop, huh? Anyway, what else did I have on the agenda? Oh, because it is getting late. It's 3:30. All right, so I guess I will say those for tomorrow. We'll end it here then. Yeah, we can end it here. I can save these topics for another day. Because it is almost 4 a.m. for some of y'all. I understand. Once again, if you would like to donate to the podcast, I would greatly appreciate it if you can. The Cash App is Chill Murray 1. The PayPal is G Class Music Group. I thought I pinned the message. But yeah, if you guys would like to donate, anything and everything is helpful at all. It only helps me get back and forth to work. I would greatly appreciate if you guys could donate to the podcast. We do try to do a small donation goal a week. I'm tired of saying what the donation goal is because I don't ever hit it. But anything at all is helpful. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could donate anything at all for the podcast, because I don't do this necessarily for money, but I don't get monetized either. I am shadow banned for most of my damn videos. As I showed y'all earlier, they've been trying to block my ass all day. They have been putting block after block after block on my goddamn videos all day, all because this Kanye West shit, his Kanye West Bully album. But anyway, I'm going to get my black ass up on out of here. Like I said, I just realized it was 3:30. We did 3.5 hours already. I still have about 3 more topics, which means we would have been in here for 5 more hours. And half of you would have been getting up for work. And I'm still talking my ass off. So I'm just going to get my ass up out of here. And bring it on back. Not tomorrow, but Thursday evening. I'll be back Thursday evening. I'll tell you that much. You know what? No. Yeah, I'll be back Thursday evening. We'll do this Thursday evening. I'll do that. Yeah, we'll do this Thursday evening. And do like a Tory Lanez affair that day. Anyway, we're gonna get on out of here and leave. And so let's just say, leave on out the same way we came on in. Same. Shout out to what had happened was, as you notice, your name turned blue because you are now a mod. So salute. You are now a mod. You're now a moderator of the channel, Miss What Happened Was. Shout out to Night Night or Man90. Shout out to who else is up in here? Who the Band? Shout out to Fantamos Fanto. I know he was up in here. Swayze World, DJ Bear Gang, Isha So Lovely, Slugs of Truth. Who else is up in here? Loving Who I'm Becoming, Mafia Princess. I didn't even see Mafia Princess. God damn it. I'm so sorry. I didn't even see Mafia Princess. I probably would have had my shades on. I'm so sorry. What's going on, Mafia Princess? The Mind's Eye. Who else was here? And we got Ty. All right. Was that everybody? I was making sure that was everybody. I'm so sorry. I am so damn sorry, Mafia Princess. I am so sorry. I had no idea. I said I had my shades on then. I was going over that video. But I said we're gonna leave it on out of the same way we came in. Keep your third eye open and your head on a swivel. Fact is never motherfucking fiction. Until next motherfucking time, I bid you all adieu and a good night. Peace.
Firstly, Tropical Cyclone Narelle. Narelle is a severe tropical cyclone and is impacting communities along the Gascoyne coastline, packing wind gusts of up to 260 kilometres per hour. A short time ago, it made landfall near Exmouth.
Music is the only thing that's keeping me from the other side of that fence.
So what, you trying to be a rapper now?
So what I was thinking was take a little bit of his lifestyle and get a rap game something authentic.
We was booking one-ways, Houston and LAX, no luggage.
We never disclosed that information anywhere. The only way he would have known about that was if he was there.
May you take this time and reflect on the decisions that you make.
I got a little issue. I need you to get this done.
The only thing we gotta do now is work on your rap name. What if we called you C.O. Popo?
That is Kevin Gates.
Look, stop playing with me, nigga.
My bad. Wait. Can you say can that for me real quick? Kevin Gates. What the Kevin Gates? Come on, man. Oh, that hurt. What the heck, Kevin? I didn't appreciate that, Kevin. That hurt a lot. Kevin Gates just assaulted me. Damn. Ouch. That is Kevin Gates, bro.
Don't you love when I come around? What'd he say? Build you up, then I'll take you down.
Yes, sir. I think he's changing clothes. Probably putting on another. Oh, now it's the jacket with the suede lapel. You switch from the shiny, Oh, you got a suede lapel, but you still got on that turtleneck. You recycle that turtleneck. You should take off that turtleneck. Anytime you feel like a takeoff, that turtleneck, you gon' suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Don't suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Don't suffocate in his verses. Turtleneck. Oh, don't suffocate in his verses. Turtleneck. Oh, don't suffocate in his verses. Turtleneck. Hallelujah, fan him down. Turtleneck. Oh, break it down, whisper it. Turtleneck. Oh, whisper it. Turtleneck. Turtleneck. That was good.
Never heartbreaker, takes love, a heart saver, a heart prayer that awaken his God layer. player, true art maker, hand solo, no partaker. Walker upon skies, my style, I Darth Vader, my cognac, I sit back and sit that. Family doing good in the present, my gift rap, I'm fine. Staying high for the lows I was used to. Like robbing off a plan, niggas still trying to boost you. High appraisal value when the Jews up and talk. Guaranteed you get the itis on my food for thought. Just digesting the fact, now I got fruits of labor. This melanin pomegranate, I'm your newest flavor. Tell my newest haters, stay with the lesser than, I'm due for greater. Breaking down trees is what I used to do for paper. I look around how it's going right now. I gotta look up and thank God like wow. Been new, I've always been good finding my way along. And if your misery no company, I'm staying home. Straight chillin', chillin', yeah, yeah. Straight chillin', chillin', yeah, yeah. And I've always been good finding my way along. See if your misery no company, I'm staying home. Straight chillin', chillin', yeah, yeah. Straight chillin', chillin', yeah, yeah. Relax your mind, can I be so clear? Shit like that. Be so clear.
Let's
be so
further know.
Relax your mind.
What it is you really do.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.